Oh, looks like Mark is here. Good morning from the National Croquet Center, West Palm Beach, Florida. We have a continuing match, Mark Avery against Andrew Johnston. It stands 2 games to Avery and 1 to Johnston so far on a 3 out of 5 match. But Andy is looking good in the 4th game. So they're just finishing their warm-up, and we'll wait for them to get started. The weather is cool so far, a little breezy, but I think it's going to be another warm Florida day especially for the Europeans who like it a little cooler than this. But for the Floridians, I think we are feeling winter coming on. This is cool weather, so depending on where you're from. As they finish warming up here, you can see the large 32-player draw and how it's proceeding. We had a number of exciting matches yesterday. Stephen just Stephen Forster rather had just an amazing game against Zach Watson. It came down to one shot, just absolutely fabulous. But you'll see the matchups: Fletcher against Deeth. We're not sure who Matthew will play today. Forster against Bamford. McCorkindale against Rothman. We will pick up the Rothman game later, depending on when this game that we're about to view ends, which could be in 15 minutes or could be 2.5 hours. So we'll keep you in the loop. So this is Tom Cooper. I am a local, teaching locally in the West Palm Beach area. So I was very happy to play in the qualifier, and I think also happy to be watching at this moment because they've played night and day for a week, and that's a lot of croquet. You see Zach Watson exiting the clubhouse, going to play the plate or bowl or shield. Jeff Sue, the tournament manager, is walking forward. Chris Clark, as they appear, Mark Avery, and Andy Johnston, Ireland. Jenny Clark in the distance. So they've pegged down last night, and they have been very careful to replace the balls exactly where they were positioned. They've had the rulers, yardsticks out to make sure that they're exactly placed correctly. One assumes they know whose turn it is and which ball is to play next. I think they know. So Andy is on a break at 2 back. And as Mark said, if it hadn't gotten dark last night, I think Andy would have finished this turn nicely. I'm going to look for some additional commentators so that we can have perspectives. Enjoy the match. This might be a good time for a shout out to the W.P. Carey Foundation for their support. They're an anchor supporter of this event and much appreciated. The CEO was here helping with the draw and enjoyed watching quite a few games. The hoops have been reset every day. These championship courts are set to contact and perhaps to a 64th of an inch. They do have to be passable, if that's the right verb. Okay. Please. Please. You will see Robert Fletcher against James Deeth as soon as this match concludes. They will be playing on court 6, which is the center court here at the NCC. And get your safety belts because it's going to be an amazing game. Honestly, everyone is playing phenomenally at this point, so sadly, but the reality is someone wins and someone loses, but Robert and Greg Fletcher had to play in the round of 8 yesterday, and Greg had some great play, but Robert prevailed 3-0, 3 TPs, I believe. But if you're watching, you'd think Greg was in it basically every match. Indeed. Henry cheering for Andy from Ireland. Andrew did a fabulous job of jawsing the white ball, his partner, into the penultimate wicket. And we get a great chance to watch him try and finish the match here. The game, rather. Sorry. We love to shorten everyone's name here, so I call him Andy. Oop. Touch the peg, which only affects the direction of the ball, not anything else. Beautiful. Here comes the replay. Ah. Not helpful. So Andy has placed the green ball deep so that once he makes the hoop and the peel, he can continue, hopefully finish the match, the game.
The game, yeah, we've got a fifth game to go. And, yeah, that penult peel just clipping the peg. Really, he'll be disappointed with that, because the reason we don't rush peel penult, we go for this croquet stroke, is you can line it up to guarantee missing the peg. So he will be disappointed with that. Indeed. Having had 5-yard jaws of penult, that's a really good shot. If it does go to 5, I think the manager's going to put a 2.5-hour time limit on the fifth game. And there'll possibly be a double banking match starting at 10 o'clock.
That'll be the Fletcher-Death match.
I believe that's correct.
That's what's planned.
Certainly be a fascinating match to watch that.
Indeed. That's for sure.
So, good touch needed here. He's got a good deep ball in green, but the brown ball, I don't think it's quite far enough south. So if he just grovels through the hoop by half an inch, he may not be able to hit the brown. He may need to hit the green, but the white might be in the way of that. So there are problems here. Oh, too far, too far.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not going to go through from there.
That changes everything,
yeah,
right?
It does. Mark remind people he's on 4 and 4 back. So if he does get in, it's not going to be a on-time triple. It's going to be delayed. And Andy now really needs to focus on trying to make a diagonal spread from here. That is far from easy because the nearest ball to the peg is 7 yards away. So he's going to need a whole load of good shots to make a maximum distance leave here. The other alternative is he can try something defensive, where he lays up in corner 2, and he leaves the brown ball in the middle of the west boundary, and the green ball floating over somewhere near hoop 4. so that if green does hit in, all 3 of the other balls are miles away from hoop 4 on boundaries. I think that's what I would try to do. It's the easiest leave to make from here. Run it through to green, croquet green really into a sort of anywhere position over between 4 and the boundary. And then he's got to play a couple of good takeoffs and rushes.
Oh, nice placement there.
So ideally, he'd send this west of brown, croquet green over to the eastern side of the lawn, get a really good rush on brown to the middle of the west boundary, and then he's got to take off all the way back to white to get a rush on white to corner 2. And I think he's getting the balls the wrong way around here. You don't want brown over by green's hoop.
No.
So he's already done something different to what I would have done by tapping green instead of rushing it past the brown and croqueting it back. And it would have been quite a good defensive leave had he managed to do what I suggested. Now he's worked out, actually, that's probably where I want to do it. And he can still do it. He's just got to play a really good stop shot, holding for the rush on the brown. So it might be a slightly, now he's gone back to this. I think this is weaker. I'm assuming he's trying to make a reverse, no, in fact, a standard diagonal spread, and getting brown in that perfect place by the peg with 2 shots is quite tricky. If he gets it, it'll be great. But it is not an easy line of play. Big stop shot. And you can see that pink's run past where he wanted it. Cutting that to the peg's going to be quite tricky.
If you haven't guessed, I've been joined by Chris Clark.
Yeah, morning all. It's been a great tournament, really enjoying it. That had fabulous match yesterday between Zach Watson and Stephen Forster. +1 in the 5th. I can't remember that happening. Certainly in a world championship. And getting to a peg v peg ending. Really, really exciting. And before that, we had all the dodgy tactics from Zach, who didn't realise he wasn't conceding in lifts anymore, and all the learning experience. But congratulations to Stephen. I had picked him out earlier in the tournament, along with Stephen Mulliner, as the 2 people who looked most comfortable on the lawn compared to their ranking. And obviously Stephen beat Stephen Mulliner and then went on to beat Zach Watson. So I know a lot of people were really fancying Zach, weren't they?
Indeed.
Home pro.
Oh, absolutely. He's been playing beautifully. I think he had 26 straight victories in international play.
Yeah, it's really strong. So a bit of an upset, but it was a really entertaining match to watch.
Oh.
Andy's decided to try and put Brown on the wire of Rover. And again, he hasn't quite rushed it where he wants. So he can still get it there. It just requires good touch. Even if he does get it there, he's probably going to be laying up in corner 4 rather than corner 2. And again, corner 4, much closer to green's hoop 4 that it's on. So it would be much better to have inverted the sleeve and be laying up on the western side of the lawn. He's croqueted green so far north now that corner 2 isn't a viable place to lay up, I don't think. Green's going to be too close to it. And part of me goes, is he actually thinking about splitting up? Is he actually not going to join up and leave his balls in corners 2 and 4? I hate doing that. I always like keeping the innings one way or another. But it must be in the back of his mind that it's an option. No, he's just going to punt it to the middle of the lawn and make what we might call a old standard leave. And it's not very good. Green's going to have every ball in the world if it hits the lift shot. And the lift shot's probably only going to be 13 or 14 yards. So yeah, that's just sort of floated into the lawn. A legitimate shot to even shoot at that for Green. It's only about 14-yarder.
Indeed, Mark's going to have a lot to shoot at.
So this is a sort of leave where you could have made a leave where getting a delayed triple out by hoop 6 was actually really difficult. This, he's going to have all the balls immediately if it hits in. So he can make his delayed triple nice and tidy.
There's no chance really for a wired position.
No, it's just very old-fashioned, old standard leave. Not very good. He'll be incredibly disappointed having had a fantastic jaws of Pinault from 5 yards away and had a croquet stroke to Irish peel it through to even be failing to finish, but to be failing to finish with a bad leave, even worse, really. So he's going to roll a little bit up the lawn. So he's not going to go tight in the corner. So he's going to leave Brown quite a short shot. And we remember Brown isn't the ball Mark really wants to play. But if Green's got a 15, 14-yarder and Brown's got a 12, 11-yarder, he may consider just picking off his 11-yarder. And you can see that distance between Green and Brown really quite short. It's definitely going to be Mark's shortest shot, Brown at pink. So more thinking here. You could go to corner 4, you could go to corner 2, or you could just lay up and say, look, you've got a 11-yarder, you hit it. In the background, we've got the bowl continuing and the start of the shield. So yeah, that's just a sort of joining up shot without giving anything shorter to Mark. So the shortest shot, Brown at white. I don't think Mark's going to be able to turn down Green at either white or Brown. Green at Brown is a sort of natural shot to play. Gives you a lot.
How much pressure is there to shoot the short shot versus take the lift?
It's partially about whether he fancies finishing if he hits with Green. It's going to be a delayed triple. If he thinks, yeah, if I hit that, I'm quite fancy finishing, he will play the Green. Mm-hmm. If he thinks, it's going to be really quite a tough delayed triple, he'll take the short shot with Brown. Mm-hmm. And you can just make 2 hoops and diagonal spread and say, well, here's a 17, 19-yarder for you, Andrew. If you missed it, you've lost.
Yes.
And that's not just lost the game, it's lost the match.
Yeah, that is the important point to make. This is the match.
If Mark wins, it's the match. If Andrew wins, it's taking us to a 5th game. So Mark's still a bit undecided. He clearly wants to play the Green, so he's lifted it. He's deciding, I think he'll shoot at the Brown. And personally, I would shoot it from a direct line rather than an angle. I just want to make it as short as you can possibly make it. Defensifying Green, not particularly relevant, really, because, he's only going to make 1 hoop as Andrew, so you don't need Green near corner 4. I'd be playing this from 4 yards further east and just shortening my shot by 1 yard.
Well, for most of us, this would not be an easy shot.
He missed it. Has he run hoop 4? No. Yeah. If you're going to shoot at an angle, you want to shoot at an angle where hoop 4 is still in play. I do think Andrew is going to hit white at pink here. And brown sufficiently in the middle of the lawn that he should finish. So, yeah, I think we'll be looking at a 5th game fairly soon. And I do believe it'll probably have a time limit on it.
It's unfortunate, but honestly, there's only so much daylight in the next 2 or 3 days to finish the tournament. So
yeah, and they probably played for about 10.5 hours yesterday. And in American football, you have a stat called time of possession.
Exactly.
And I think Mark had 2.5 hours possession, and Andrew had 8 hours possession yesterday. But it's still Mark 2 games to 1 up.
That's right.
And Andy here just got a little slightly nervy 5-yarder to start with. If he hits it, he should be able to get a rush on brown to Rover. In the background, Ben Rothman and Logan McCorkindale having their warm-up. Big win from Ben yesterday. Both Andrew and myself were doing the initial commentary spot yesterday. Andrew said, well, which of the 8 top seeds do you think is most at danger? And we both agreed it was Fulford. We both thought Fulford was potentially going to struggle in that match. And in the end, a 3-1 win to Ben. Logan, this is back-to-back quarterfinals for Logan. Reached his first quarter in London. Oh. And lost to Fulford, I think, in that match. So, Andrew moving pink positively out into the lawn near the peg. And he's got a choice. He can either get a rush to Rover, but if he overhits it, it'll be a rush to green. So he's got some flexibility. Be trying to get the rush to Rover. So white's gone a bit too far, and it's a rush pointing directly at the green ball. So I think he'll try to middle this off the south boundary. Certainly wouldn't take the cut rush on. It's a really quite difficult cut rush. But tonk it firmly in the middle, get it off the south boundary. South boundary on this lawn a little bit dodgy. It does roll off. So he'll be wanting to get within 3 yards of the green. That's near corner 4. In fact, it's gone off north of corner 4, so that makes this takeoff a lot more difficult. You're always worried about overhitting it and going off the lawn, where if it was in the corner, even if he overhit it, it would just go past the green rather than off the lawn. So can he play a good touch shot?
There's really no roll-off to speak of on the border there behind the brown ball, but the grass does get thin.
Yeah, what we saw earlier on in one of the earlier games was Mark on the south boundary playing a takeoff from the end of A bolt to green. Obviously, it might have been a different colour then, but about a 10-yard takeoff along the boundary, and it just hilled off the lawn in the last yard. So that's why I'm mentioning that this particular boundary has already caused one break down this match. So Andy will have that in the back of his mind. If you can get a rush pointing at hoop 1 that he can cut to Rover, that'll be sort of what he's aiming for. And that looks short. That is not a good shot at all. So is Mark going to get another shot? I'm still going to rush this 11 yards east of corner 1, take off in front of the hoop, try and smash through to the boundary. But that does leave brown and green only 15 yards apart if I fail to approach the hoop. Hasn't even rushed it that far. I don't think he'll dare play a takeoff, leaving green and brown that close together. So potentially...
Not even a wide takeoff, eh?
Yeah, either croaking it to corner 3 or to corner 1. There is 2 sort of options. If it goes to time on 5 game without finish, well, right, okay. So if it goes to time, it will be on whoever is ahead when after the time turn's finished. So time will be called, the person playing that turn will finish their turn, and then the other player will have 1 turn, and at the end of that, whoever's ahead will win the match. If it's drawn, so let's say they're 16 all, after that time has expired, then the next person to score a point for their ball will win the match.
I think he's taking out.
So he's taking the. This is really, really aggressive. Green and brown are so close together. Surprised he's doing this. It is a very, very aggressive play. He's got a hoop shot, so it's a three yarder, isn't it? It's tough. So, massive shot in the match. Can Andy run this, preferably all the way off the lawn?
Part of his problem is pink is a bit far from
absolutely.
the peg.
Yeah, I mean, pink's just in the middle of the lawn for green and brown as well. It gives a lot away if he misses this. Green's got about an 8-yarder at brown. He's going to have a ball at 5, a ball at the middle of the lawn, and that is straight into that right-hand wire as Andrew looked at it, and as Atkins do, they rejected it a few feet away. And Mark's in great nick now. He'll play the green ball, he'll shoot at partner, and we can see this didn't really get very close to the jaws.
No.
So Mark's hit. And straight away, he'll be thinking about how he can maneuver the balls to set up his delayed triple peel. Obviously, he has to make hoop 4 and set up a break, but he needs to ideally not have brown at hoop 5. If he rolls brown to hoop 5, he wants to get another ball at hoop 5 as well. You don't want to be making hoop 5 off peely. It makes the triple peel so much more difficult. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised by that. I'd have played a much more difficult croquet stroke. I'd have probably sent brown up to 4 back, going to pink, and trying to get a rush on pink back to white. So the fact that Mark's chosen the easier line of play probably indicates he's thinking about just going to the peg.
Right.
He might get a go at peeling brown after 5 or before 1 back. But that is, if you peel it before 1 back, it is quite delayed. It's just amazing how close he can approach hoops from the side. His croquet strokes are basically some of the best in the world.
That's amazing, especially first, early rounds here. He's really had no warm-up per se in terms of play during the game.
Mark, remember, was a finalist in the first ever World Championships, 1989, when he was still a young man. And he's incredibly fit. He runs marathons, works out, and he's over 60 or over now, and he's as fit as anyone here. He's really good, Nick. Having said that, both these players looked really tired at the end of yesterday. Being outside in that quite hot environment for 10, 11 hours. So we'll see now, is he going to make any effort at peeling? If he does, he'll send this to 4-back now, and he'll try peeling it to 1-back. If he sends it to 1-back, he's given up. He's just going to play a 4-ball break. They're leaving it down here. No attempt at peeling. This is going to be a ball to the peg, and he's going to say to Andy, this is your last shot in the match if you miss. So he's moved that green a little bit close to 2-back, getting a rush on pink. And it should be a controlled break to the peg now. So do you have a favourite out of the players left?
Well, I was very impressed with Ben on the American side, that he was able to play as well as he did, because he really hasn't played that many competitions. I mean,
yeah, well, most of us thought he was out after 6 games.
Right.
And then he beat Bamford and got back in the tournament.
Yes, exactly. And of course, Matthew was playing so smoothly, very nicely.
Yeah, I think Reggie's going to get to the final. And if I had to punt, the top half's a bit stronger, I think. It would be that Matthew beats Reg in the final. But it is anyone still. You just need a good day of shooting and solid break play, and anyone can beat anyone else here. Hope your opponent misses 2 or 3 lift shots. I'm really keen on seeing people try to go round 3rd turn. That the lawns are perfectly easy enough to do that, and the person who can go round 3rd turn half the time is going to have a massive advantage. But yeah, Essex beating Bamford. That's my guess.
Your call.
Just a guess.
Well, the home crowd likes that guess.
It's been great. I mean, yesterday we had so many countries still involved in the last 16. And it's very healthy for the sport to not just be dominated by one country. He slightly underhit that. So I think he'll hit this hoop shot quite firmly and get hoop and Croquet. Nice close-up. Yeah.
Yes, you don't want to hit up on that ball. It'll stay in the jaws.
The sun just coming through. We had more cloud cover this morning than normal, but it is just starting to break through the sun. We had rain overnight, so that's probably why there wasn't any dew on the lawns this morning, but they have had a fair bit of rain overnight. And you can see the quite different speeds of play of these two players. Mark's just casually stroking the balls around the lawn and making hoops every minute or so.
He made 5 and 6 so quickly. I got behind on the scoring.
Yeah.
So your thought is he'll go to the peg on this turn.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Almost certainly going to. Chris Patmore's just said about the deep milling on the green ball. I think it's significantly. I want to use the bullseye. It's quite a small bullseye, Chris, on these Invictus balls. But I think if you use the bullseye, which it's the area where the sort of the manufacturer's name is written, and it's not got milling on it. It's quite small. It's probably only about a centimetre wide. But if you can put that spot in contact with the croquet ball every time, you know you're getting the same ball-on-ball reaction. If you randomly put it down, sometimes the balls lock with the milling interlocking, and then you get massive amounts of pull. So whilst you're not able to determine the rotation of the croquet ball, you're not allowed to move that rotationally. You are allowed, when you've made a roquet, to pick the striker's ball up and put it on any rotation round the croquet ball. And using that maker's mark, that bullseye, as Chris mentioned, is definitely something that I would encourage. I don't know why. Oh, that might be tricky. Can he get by? Yeah, he's okay. Again, if you put your partner ball at penultimate, you know it's not going to be the ball you make the last heap of your turn off. So he's going to be wanting to make rover off an enemy ball. Hasn't quite got that all the way to four back. He's changed it around to be a pivot. So white will be his rover ball. Some people will think, well, is he going to peg Andrew out? And I have a sort of rule of thumb, which is if the opponent's on four back and peg, I always peg them out. If they're on rover and peg, I never peg them out. And if they're on penultimate peg, it sort of depends on the opponent and the lawn. So, yeah, I think he will just go to peg, not peg Andrew out, and make a diagonal spread, which will be very flat, very sort of horizontal, trying to give 19-yard shots away rather than 17, 16-yard shots away. And he's rushed that a long way away. I'm surprised he's rushed that far. Oh, no, that was a flick rather than the rush. That's why that's finished there. So white to rover. After he makes penultimate, green will get pink near the peg, ready for the spread, and brown will be by the peg as well. Oh, slightly loose Parnier. Meanwhile, on the adjacent lawn, Logan has made hoop 1 with a ball at hoop 2, and he's got a 5-yard return roquet, and he should have the first break against Ben Rothman. Logan was a player that I thought most people would not understand how good he is. He won the top 8 in New Zealand. Not necessarily a particularly strong event. The thing that stood out to me was he did a lot more triples than Paddy Chapman. And Paddy's a world-class player and very, very good peeler. And for Logan, not just to beat him in the tournament, but do substantially more triple peels, gives you an indication that he's significantly improved from 2 years ago.
Wasn't aware of that.
The game he plays is based around hitting the ball straight, but he can play nice croquet strokes, and he's a good peeler as well. So going to be really interesting, this game between Logan and Ben. So Mark's made penultimate. Pink's going to be sent to the peg, ready for the diagonal spread. He'll probably rush brown past white and croquet it back to the peg. Interesting. Don't really know why he's left brown here. It's not the normal place for brown. He's just thicking it over. You see, brown should be another 2 yards further east there. I don't really know why he's deliberately left it there. It doesn't make any sense to me, that. And one of the things you'll see with Mark is he actually lines the mallet up not in the middle of the ball. So it's quite fascinating watching different people. Are they lined up in the middle of the ball or off centre? And then where do they actually hit it? So he's rushed white very, very close. He's going to peg it out, isn't he? That's what he's going to do. He's going to peg it out. That's a surprise to me. So I think he's put white there on the basis that he's going to lay up on the eastern side of the lawn with a rush on white, that the peg's in the way. He should have full control of the brown. But after Andrew misses his lift shot, Mark's not going to have an easy finish. So I think this is a mistake. I don't peg out the opponent when they're on rover. It's entirely possible that Andrew might miss his lift shot and still have another shot left. I only want to give him one shot. Logan, meanwhile, has over-approached hoop 2. And it is about a 40-degree hoop. So he'll have a go at this, I think. He'll absolutely smash the living daylights out of it. And I think the hoop will move out of the way and he'll run it. But it's far from easy. I think he's jumping, actually. Very difficult shot at hoop 2 early on in a match for Logan. So the peg out's been made, and Mark's got his nice rush to the eastern side of the lawn. He'll be trying to get the peg in the way between white and himself. And Logan plays a good jump shot through hoop 2, and has got a slightly hampered roquet. And it's a 4-yard hampered roquet. Only very slightly hampered, though. I think he can play his normal stance. So, yeah, where's Mark going to leave the rush? He can't leave it directly at 4-back because Andy could make a double target from B-bulk if he did that. If he leaves the rush pointing at white, after white lifts and shoots down the boundary from corner 3 through brown, he's not going to be able to finish very easily from that. I don't like this at all. You don't want to leave green there because Andy can just make a double target from B-bulk. And if he misses on the right, he'll be in corner 4. Quite a tricky place to Mark to finish from. And he's left a double. So I'm not giving that very many marks, I'm afraid. That is no attempt at any peels and a poor leave. Logan in the background, you can see playing blue. Still quite hasn't got control of his break yet. Early days, first turn of a best of 5. So I'm sure Andy's thinking, wow, this might not be my last shot. I might get another one. I can't see him doing anything other than playing the shot from B bulk at a double target. The shot from A bulk at brown is short. You could take that. But where he's wandering to is where I'm playing it from. Nice double target. Miss on the right, you're quite likely to get another shot. Miss on the left, you probably lost. Hit, you probably won. Certainly if you hit the near ball. And is he going to A bulk or B bulk? He's coming up to B bulk. Yeah, so that's the shot we anticipated.
I think that was an easy decision.
And yeah, hitting the green should be a win. Missing on the left should be a loss. Missing on the right, we might get a bit more play. But almost the manager's worst nightmare. You know, Andrew doesn't finish his triple peel. Mark has a break to the peg. Then we get a pegged out ending. All dragging the match longer and longer. Might hit brown. No. Misses by a ball on the safe side. Can Mark play a really good turn now here and 2 ball out? I don't think he'll turn around and pick off the white. I think he'll try and cut the green up to 4 back. And remember, if Mark makes 4 back, he's still conceding lifts. It's not like the other day when we saw that pegged out ending where Stephen Forster had pegged his own ball out, meaning he didn't get any more lifts. He just tonked that in the middle.
Wasting no time.
Yeah. One of the things that you can do here is if you can manage to roll to a wired spot, you can potentially give Andrew no further shots in the game. Because if he can 2 ball out from 4 back and get this wide, he's not even trying to get it wide. I would be rolling behind 4 back here and trying to wire white from any shot. So that's a very cautious decision. And now Andy has to make a choice. Does he take a very long shot that will almost certainly lose? Or does he stay in the corner, let Mark try and 2 ball out, knowing that any error after 4 back, he'll have a short lift shot that will probably win the game for him. So do you want to put it on your mallet and try and hit a 30-plus yarder? Or are you going to let Mark have the pressure turn of finishing from 4 back? And I'm going to corner. I'm going to hate it. I'm going to hate doing it, knowing that it might be my last shot in the World Championship. But I am going to corner here.
I think you've really nicely presented that dilemma.
And he's shooting. You can see him, he wants to shoot. And he's thinking all the time, is this the right shot? I really want to shoot. But there are some other options available. Perhaps we should talk about what, if he doesn't shoot, where should he go? If he stays in corner 4, Mark's next turn could be trying to rush to the hoop. And if he doesn't get really close, just wiring behind 4 back, because there's a really big wide area then. And then he'll have control next time he rushes to 4 back, and he'll be running it from 2 inches. So that's why staying in for corner 4 is not great. If you move to corner 2, the wide area is much smaller.
Right.
The downside of corner 2 is twofold. First of all, you've got to miss the peg. If you hit the peg and stay in the middle of the lawn, it's a disaster. Secondly, if Mark rushes to 4 back and he tries to get a rush out of the hoop towards penultimate and he slightly underhits his shot, he'll have a rush pointing at the ball in corner 2. So you're giving him 2 areas to rush to. So that's a negative from that spot. If you go to corner 1, very easy for Mark to just tidy up his rush behind 4 back and leave a wide rush. And then you've no improvement again. So he won't go to corner 1. Corner 2 is the standard place to go. And other options might be the middle of the east boundary. Sort of getting a bit closer to the action. This is a ball to corner 2. Make sure you miss the peg. But equally, you don't want to be 2 yards out of the corner because it makes it much easier to attack from Mark's point of view. He's still thinking. You know he wants to shoot. He's almost talked himself into doing what I think the right thing is. But he really does want to shoot. That's the middle of the other boundary. So that's going to give Mark options to attack. He can make 4 back and get a rush. And depending on what he fancies, he can either rush it to penultimate or the white. Not a bad rush. I'm surprised by this. He's playing the deep shot and running it off the boundary. I thought he might play with a little bit more control than that. You're never quite sure what angle the Brown's going to come out at. Oh, got a lot of wow there, didn't he? He saw the hoop move, and he's got quite a good rush pointing at white. And this is the danger of putting white in the middle of this boundary. So he's rushed it in the middle. I don't think that's going to finish a long... Yeah, it's gone right off next to white. So it wasn't one of the spots I was really fancying that for white. Middle of the east boundary is much better because he's going to try and get a rush to penultimate. middle of the west boundary, just gives him those double choices. So he should be able to nudge green a yard in lawn and get a tight rush to penultimate. Lots of pressure on Mark. He knows he should win the match from here.
This is actually...
Yeah.
Peg, right?
10, green's on peg. Green's on peg.
Oh.
Nudges that into play. I think it's just gone far enough. It's not in his way of his rush to penult. Yeah. And where's that finished? It's not bad, but it's not the side he wants it to be on. He's now got to play a wide angle croquet stroke, trying to get a rush back to green. Unless he wants to try and get a rush to rover. I'd always try and get a rush back to green here. Overhit it.
Oh.
So both balls overhit. If he goes for the hoop, he's got to hit it hard. And anything could happen in terms of how far Brown goes through and at what angle. So he's lost all the control in the turn. He won't want to play off to corner 2 and join partner. It's a really short shot for white. So he's jumping. And if you're jumping, I think you're better off going back to partner, because the spin's likely to mean that the Brown finishes to the right-hand side of white if it goes through. Yeah, you see that spin. Now he's in a bit of no man's land again. He's going to have to play a touch takeoff behind this ball that he's just nudged a couple of feet off the yard line. But anyway, good hoop shot. I suppose that's the most important thing. He hasn't just given the game away. Played it very nicely. And now rushes back, and he's got to play a good takeoff now. And you can afford to be aggressive. If it goes off the lawn, it's not the end of the world. It's just as good as finishing with no rush at all. Assuming it doesn't leave a double.
This is getting almost as dramatic as Zach's game.
It is, yeah. Really, really tight finish, this. So, touch shot. Looking at it, walking after it. And it is not bad. That's cuttable. That's definitely cuttable. And this is where you want to pull off a good shot. Probably 1/3 quarter ball, and it's under hit, but it's in a position where he's going to be rolling from fairly straight. He'll definitely, I think, go all out for this, and he probably knows if he doesn't make rover, he'll win. Are they firm enough, the pegs? Well, in my opinion, no, they're not. But the truth is, even if you had a normal stake instead of the long metal pole, they would still be quite floppy if they've been hit once. Subsurface is quite sandy, so there's no real perfect solution. And the great thing about having them on a metal spike, given the fact they're moving these hoops every 2 days, is that there's no real damage from the old peg holes. Whereas if you were using a normal stake, it would create quite a wide hole that you'd see filled and filled and filled. And when people are making diagonal spreads, you don't want a whole mess of a lawn near you. So they are the best method for making a centre peg on sandy lawns during a World Championship. He's considering not being aggressive. I want to go all out for this. Any half and half shot of approaching sending green to a safe spot is pointless. You're going to potentially make the hoop. Yeah, giving away a lift. I know he's giving away a lift, Jack. I mean, I want to be really, really positive. If I don't make rover, I'm going to lose. Oh, right, yeah. So Mark, very surprisingly, in my opinion, pegged pink out when white was on rover. I thought it was the wrong decision. Now he's calling for a referee. That indicates he might be rolling both balls off the lawn.
It would.
I really don't like giving Andy a 13-yarder in this position. I'm going to just roll up to Rover and try and win. He's got such good croquet strokes as Mark. He should get a good hoop shot. And the further apart he goes here, the more Andy can shoot at the peg ball without a risk of losing. He's joined fairly close, so yeah, I think Brown will be able to hit green even if Andy shoots and misses. It's about a 4-yarder. And this time you don't shoot from B-bulk. It's a longer double. Mark hasn't got as many hoops to make, and it will be white at green from A-bulk. So Rover and Peg v Rover. 2 games to 1 up to Avery. This is now almost definitely Andy's last shot. And he's got the benefit for being patient. You know, that he wanted to take that 30-yarder. Now he's got the benefit. 30 yards has turned into 13 yards. And that makes a massive difference in terms of how likely he is to hit. I don't want to take this long double. If he thinks Mark's going to play green after he misses, this is a good shot to take. If he thinks if he misses, Mark will pick the green off with the brown, I hate this. It's just too long. So it's all about what you think Mark's going to do. Is he going to play brown at green if white misses to corner 4 area?
He's missed it not too long ago, the same shot at the double.
Yeah, I'm shooting this 13, 14-yarder, white at green, from where he's standing now. Lovely view of the clubhouse. Palm trees waving in the background, and there's slightly more breeze than there normally is at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
So
it was a breezy morning, and looks like it still is, which is a nice relief for the players.
Yeah. Logan has had a ball to fall back and has made a dreadful leave. He's made a new standard leave where the ball at hoop 4's got a 7-8 yarder at a ball in corner 4. So I expect Ben to hit that. Andy is taking this same shot. And Ben's missed his 7-8 yarder. So we've got a good angle behind this, haven't we? We should get to see, is it online? And then the big question, is Mark going to play green or brown if this misses? It's close.
Oh, better than the last one.
Has he got it? Yep, he's got it. Right, so now a touch shot required. 5-yard takeoff. Get a rush to Rover. And you can just see Jeff sitting at his desk going, "You're kidding me." No.
Trials of a tournament manager. And he definitely doesn't want to put a time limit.
It doesn't matter now because you can't put a time limit on this game of less than an hour. So it is going to be finished in an hour. The only question is he going to move a 2.5 hour time limit or a 2.25 hour time limit on the 5th game?
Right. Right.
And he can't put anything less than 2 hours on. I'd still be putting a 2.5 hour time limit on. I want to give them the best possible chance to play a normal game. Yeah, I mean, obviously, rushing brown to green would have been the perfect outcome. I don't think this shot's difficult. It's a yard longer probably now than if he'd have hit it from a bulk. But I think this boundary is quite reliable. I mentioned the south boundary wasn't. I think this is a good boundary. So he can go, within 12 inches of the white line fairly safely, I think. Oh, he's gone quite narrow. That's not good.
Oh, no.
Way too narrow to start with and just went half a ball right to left. So I'm going to be positive again. I'm going to roll brown just off the end of A bulk, get in front of Rover, run it off the lawn, and it's 2-all. But yeah, I never really set off on a good line. The pace wasn't a million miles away.
So that looked good. Pace looked good. There are some low spots around the. So you'll see if we have flooding.
Yeah.
Water gathers some of those between courts.
I'm surprised how far north he seems to be sending brown. I'd be sending it a long way south. Yeah, that's as if he's going to run the hoop by 2 feet. Yes. It's a fantastic approach. But I would like, if I had brown on 2 yards north of the end of A bolt now, I would know I could just thrash through this hoop and I've won.
Yes.
Now, if he strokes it through and it goes through by 8 yards, he's going to have a 6-yard nervy one on the way back.
That's a lovely shot.
It's a lovely shot, yeah. Equally, we should say he's rolled up off the brown, and if he fails the hoop, brown's on top of it, and brown's the rover ball. And that's another reason I'd have sent brown a long way further south. Right. It's a good shot.
Got it.
Now he would have won with brown where I had it, and now he's got this little 4-yard knee knocker. I'm not expecting him to miss. And there we go. This is going to be 2 games all. Gives himself a bit of a G-up and a little hop and a run. And we're going to be into game 5 soon. There we go.
Huge sigh of relief for Andy.
And Mark knows that he turned down the opportunity to roll off Rover to win the match. And that has to be playing in your mind.
That was an amazing roll-up by Andrew. I mean...
So lots of things I didn't like about first of all, the choice to have a pegged-out ending, and then the play within the pegged-out ending. I thought there were lots of things that were imperfect. But well done to Andy. Hit his last shot. And despite not getting a rush, he's equalised the match. And now Jeff's coming out, and he's going to give them a number. So whatever number he gives them, I think we will anticipate a double banking match coming on about 10 o'clock. And that's so they can use these front 4 lawns again for the quarterfinals all set to a 64th of an inch, and can make sure the lawn allocations are as fair as possible.
That's correct.
Ken Jones, the deputy tournament referee, with the straw hat on, and David Malouf to his right, another one of our referees who are having long days and giving up their time. David, the runner-up here in 2016. And his son Kyle had a really good tournament as well this year. So another improving player, probably going to sneak into the MAC team. And so much looking forward to that next year.
And he was knocked out by James Deeth, who we're going to see very shortly.
And the fastest player in the tournament. A delight to watch always. Can he restrict his error count? He's a great peeler. He's shot quite well this season. It's a new mallet he's using. And yeah, he's shot quite well. Just the odd little error here and there. If he can just tighten up on that, he's got every chance. But it should be the sort of pick of the matches today. Just the start of the game. Mark playing green over to the east boundary. And just a quick run through. We've got some fantastic sponsors here. Chris and Gail Barley, PFC Croquet Mallets, Oakley Woods Croquet, Chris and Karen Wines, and the live streaming guys. It's idolivestreaming.com. Doing a great job this tournament. The Croquet Foundation of America has donated the lawns for this event. We should mention the Beach Club as well.
Yes.
Lots of games going on at the Beach Club during the tournament. I think today everything's back here. I think the Beach Club is now finally finished. Many thanks to your members over there for giving up their lawns for these 6 or 7 days. Very much appreciated. So, where has Andy gone? He's been going to corner 2. So I think he's probably gone to corner 2 again.
Correct. Yes.
So this is almost the new standard opening, a corner 2 opening. It's the most common one. This time, Mark's hit third turn, and he's missed in a couple of the other games. So I think we'll see him take off to the ball in corner 2, roll it out into the lawn, and try and get Andy to have a 17-yarder fourth turn. Interestingly, both other games where we had this opening, Mark missed third turn, and Andy missed his 13-yarder into corner 2. So
interesting.
I wouldn't have actually been that unhappy as Mark to have left him the same shot he's missed twice before. But he will go and move it.
It looks as though Andy's ball is in the corner.
So he's missed the corner, has he?
Isn't it normal to get
Absolutely.
outside the corner?
Yeah. So the idea being, if the opponent shoots at it and misses, you get a double target.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's in the corner, you can just put it back on the north boundary in contact, and it's just a single ball target. So where's Mark finished? Is he still on the lawn?
Yes.
No, he isn't.
Just outside.
So that's gone off the lawn, end of turn. And Andy will have the same shot. He'll play white at pink. And he's missed the first 2 he's shot at. Can he hit the one in the 5th game? In game 3, he missed this by about 9 inches. Had a really bad swing. So you've got the game score wrong in game 4. It's 23 rather than 25.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Here we go. Misses for the 3rd time. And these guys expect to hit that 13-yarder over half the time. So 3 misses is, very, very unlikely. And Mark can now play, hopefully, to get a cannon in corner 2. And that's one of the standard cannons, cannon for hoop 2, sending a croquet ball just north of hoop 2, rushing the other ball down to hoop 1. So the first thing he needs to do is work out what angle he needs to hit these at to get a cannon. I think that's okay. Some people don't even bother playing the cannon. They play a precision pickup. Just get a series of good tight rushes on balls. So yeah, I play this as a wafer cannon, aiming almost directly at hoop 1. And the pink ball squeezes out north of hoop 2 and ideally a couple of yards east of hoop 2 as well. But the idea is you want white south of the hoop 1. And if it's south of the hoop, you can approach and get a rush wherever you want out of the hoop. If you leave it 3 or 4 yards north, or even 1 yard north, it becomes trickier to get a rush out of the hoop. So I'd rather be 4 yards south of the hoop than a yard north of it. In the background, Ewan Burridge having a ball to the peg, it looks like. So it looks like he's 2 breaks up against Jenny. Played really well this tournament, Ewan. Had a cracking event. Right, here's the cannon. So pink squeezed out to that position north-east of the hoop that I mentioned. So pink's great.
Wow.
And white is also very, very good. You'll be able to approach that either getting a rush to 2 or to partner on the east boundary. Be very happy with that as an outcome. Approaches the hoop. Gone for a forward rush rather than a rush to green. And he just needs to gently stroke this through. And he's given it a bit extra. Should still be fine, but he'll have to play a couple of decent shots now.
He'll be playing green, is that correct? He'll be playing green?
He's on brown at the moment.
Brown.
Yeah.
I have a CVD problem.
So just snicks that return. And he may ignore green now completely and just roll white to 3 going to pink. There's lots of room behind pink. Good croquet stroke player, Mark. I don't think green's really that far off a boundary. I'd probably ignore that and just play the roll. Logan, meanwhile, is on his second ball round. And he's doing what I suggested. He's playing this roll going to the pink at hoop 2. And he's a good croquet stroke player, is Mark. And that looks lovely. Lovely rush to hoop 2. And the hoop 3 partner is 1 foot in exactly the place you want it, just west of the hoop. Absolutely beautiful croquet stroke. That's gone the wrong side. I like moving pink out of the way here. I don't want to have it in the way of running the hoop. So let's nudge it to the side. Right, I'm going to take a little break now.
Okay. Got some officiating to do. A little tricky here. Let's see whether he gets pink out of the way. Indeed. Nice shot. He did not touch the pink going through.
So, Tom,
Nice.
2.5 hour time limit confirmed.
Thank you. That's
And if Mark wins, we probably won't need it. And if Andy wins, we may well need it. So Mark's now done all the hard work, picked up a break. He generally goes to 4-back with, I think, diagonal spreads quite a lot of the time.
I would have expected that he wanted to send white to 5 and go to opponent, but in this case, it was maybe impossible.
He could have done. He just picking partner up off the boundary. And some Canadian support for Brian. Brian's had a good tournament. But yeah, just pick green up off the boundary, send green to 5, and white's in play up sort of near 4-back area. He can pick that up later. So the Death Fletcher, David, will be played now on lawn 6, and we're thinking 10 o'clock start. So it's likely to be double banked with this game. So not ideal from Mark and Andy's point of view, but it helps the lawn rotation be fair. And that game will be told to sort of defer to the 5th game if they're both sort of going for the same hoop. Just because there's no time limit on their game, whereas this has got 2.5 hours. But yeah, I think everyone's looking forward to this Essex Death. And in the meantime, we've got this almost...
Fletcher, yes.
Fletcher. Death. Should be really good. But in the meantime, this has every chance of being a very interesting 5th game if Andy can hit his lift shot. And then all sorts of options. Will it be a TPO? Will it be popping? Will he go to 1-back? What's he going to do in this 5th game? Mark just gradually getting the balls together.
I guarantee you're not hearing Tom Balding.
No, it's Tom Cooper, I believe.
Tom Cooper, I am the scorekeeper filling in. So
I think we should also say, Tom, you've been involved really for the last year or so with the organising committee, and you've done lots of the marketing stuff, is it? You've been charged of?
All of the promotion, coordinating the video, as well as the PR, the signage, the sponsorships, It's all touches on marketing to some degree.
Yeah, and unless you've been on a World's organising committee, you really don't understand the work that's involved. I mean, since I was asked to be tournament referee, we've had meetings every 2 or 3 weeks via Zoom and Teams, and there's so many elements that go into putting on a good tournament. I know about 6 months ago I started with the 2027 Wellington organising committee, which is where the next World Championships will be.
And you've started already.
And they've already started. I'll be managing
that's
that.
Fantastic.
And yeah, all coordinating with the clubs in Wellington. Multiple venues. We don't have the luxury of a 12-lawn venue.
No.
So I think Waimari has 6 lawns that have been created about 6 or 7 years ago now. Kelburn, 5 lawns. Wellington, 2 lawns. Waikanae, Paraparam, 4 lawns each. I hope I haven't missed anyone out. But yeah, all coming together. Lots of people working on it. And one of the things we're fortunate about in New Zealand is when we hold big events like World Championships, we can go to some of our charity organisations that give out money, and we can get a new equipment. So we can get sets of hoops and sets of balls that help us run these World Championships.
I would think then that they will use quadways, right?
We will definitely use quadways. Yeah. What type of ball we use is entirely in the air at the moment. We're still waiting for feedback. And I should probably mention, we've got Peter Cole working on a new ball as well. And Don Oakley has a set of balls down here that I'm going to have a go with at the weekend when the lawns start becoming free. So lots of people are trying to make the perfect ball, and it's very, very difficult. These balls were in of Invictus, one of our sponsors here. They are at the moment the roundest ball on the market. The tolerance between the balls in the set, very, very tight, and it's made setting these hoops to a 64th of an inch possible. So yeah, very round.
Yes, they were consistent. And I've been helping with setting hoops in the morning, and they're very consistent in size.
For people who don't know, if we hold a tournament normally and we need 12 sets of balls, we normally get 20 sets together, and then we measure ball by ball using a micrometer on every rotation, what the biggest ball is on the biggest rotation and what its smallest dimension is. And we write it all down. And then with those 20 sets of balls, we repair them up. So they've got 4 balls that are all the same dimensions. And with Invictus balls, you don't have to go through that process. They're all good to start with.
I did want to add one thing about the marketing. A big shout out to Alice and Mom, who
from Croquet England
really helped our team, who hadn't done croquet before, but they've done all sorts of action sports. So they had to learn the ins and outs, and Alison was hugely helpful.
So Alison sort of spearheads Croquet England's live streaming, as well as the marketing side, and she's got a great sponsor for the England Robertson Shield team. So looking forward to working with them. And yeah, everything's going the right way. I think throughout the world, if we can just focus on maintaining both these games flourishing at club level and make sure we get beginners playing association croquet and golf croquet, that the sport really is thriving. So Mark's now quite quickly round 3 back. Making a new standard leave. So pink's going to be placed on the, as we look at it from here, the left-hand wire of hoop 4, maybe 2 to 3 inches off the hoop.
textbook.
And he's croquet that a long way past. I don't think he'll be happy with quite how far away it is. He's got good touch, so he'll be able to dribble this off fairly gently and be able to send it back towards the hoop on a good line.
It's dangerous, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I would like it much closer than this. And, yeah, I mean, yeah, you just get this little touch shot wrong, and it's tricky. Lovely to watch. Nice pace of play. As Chris says, it has been an excellent break. I always love watching Mark. Very classy player. 2.5 live, 2.5 hours for this 5th game. So all of these best of 5 starting off with no time limits. And that's the right decision from the manager. If you're playing a best of 5, you should believe at the start of it that you're not going to need a time limit. And obviously some matches do drag on. And this one has obviously not even finished 4 games overnight. Keith, the sunshiny balls, they rush better than these. And I think for general club play, this is why it's important to think about the balls in general. These are working quite well, I believe, at the World Championship. They're creating extra difficulty for players. And at this level, extra difficulty is good. When you've got a club level, you want a set of balls that are a bit easier to play with, that rush well. And you don't want to have the general croquet member feeling that they can't clear balls at golf croquet far enough because the balls are a bit dead. And sunshinies have a quite good clinky reaction and rush quite well. And obviously, the other final thing you always need to consider is price. So sunshinies, definitely an option. But yeah, lots of people trying to improve the sport by making the best ball at the moment, and we want to encourage all of them. These have certainly worked well for the elite players. So
that little shot we talked about, putting pink by the hoop,
yeah,
really limited his position with his balls.
And to my mind, Tom, I think he's laid up in the wrong place. Obviously, as you said, it's limited. I think I would have gone a little bit further south, because I think white can lift to the end of A bulk or a couple of yards inside it and shoot up maybe 40% of pink and the whole of green or brown.
Indeed. Yep.
And that is a big target from there. Yeah, it used to be one of my favourite lift shots to take, because I could aim at the near ball pink and the other ball would be on the right side in the background. And if I missed, 9 times out of 10, I missed on the right. So it was a very attractive shot for me to take.
You left a good ball space, a little more than a ball between the two? Or
Well, I'm just trying to get pink. If you roll pink another half a ball to the left as we're looking at it now, you can't get any of your pink in the target. And that's what you're trying to do. Pink is fundamentally not in the right place.
Yeah.
It may be 0.6 of a ball further left, and then it's perfect. It's also further away from the hoop in terms of rushing to hoop 1. So you're less likely to hit hoop 4 or rushing to hoop 1. There's lots of reasons why pink is imperfect here, but brought about by that hoop approach that we both mentioned.
Oh,
he didn't quite get it as close as he should have done. Yeah, and I think a lot of clubs have done that, Bob. Sunshine is now used at Nottingham and Cheltenham in the UK. But I do think a lot of clubs are just holding back on the decision and allowing this 2-year period while new balls are coming on to be tested and to get a general view as to what most people like. So, yeah, I would strongly encourage all these manufacturers to keep going at it. Nothing is perfect at the moment. Some are very good, but everything's got a little question mark about it in one area or another.
I think for most clubs, the life of the ball,
Really important.
nicks and cuts and
Yeah.
whatnot, is very important.
So Andy's now looking at this hampered shot. It's only a 6-yarder. So milling, I think, is really important, Jack, as well as the basic hardness of the ball. But the milling on these Invictus is very deep. I think over time, just like the Dawsons, it will gradually reduce as they're played with. The milling will gradually get less. So he's called a referee out. Jeff's come out with the hammer because he's going to want to run his mallet along the wire, and the carrots are just a little bit proud. So Jeff will, first of all, David will mark the pink, just in case the ground vibration of the hoop being knocked in the ground shakes it a fraction. Once he's done that, Jeff will use that big hammer just to tap down on top of it and try and get the carrots flush with the ground. Still a little bit proud there. That looks closer. And now Andy will play the hampered shot, probably after David. I'm just asking a little bit more. David will probably go and mark the brown. And Andy will play the shot, running the mallet alongside the hoop.
These are super challenging. There are problems.
But interestingly, he hasn't actually, I'm not sure he's actually asked for a referee yet. David's lurking because he's marked stuff. Is he still just testing whether he's going to take the shot? Got a good view. So I think he has now decided that he is going to play the shot. So David's now putting some more markers down. And yeah, if you've left this open, that is a big error. That's a clear error. Again, we've said this quite a lot of times this morning. This might be Andy's last shot in the match.
If you find something.
I tended not to take this type of shot. My backswing wasn't straight enough. So I wasn't very good at this. I think Andy's got a better backswing than I have, so good luck to him. So I would have lifted white to end of A ball and set up a ball and a half target from somewhere. That would have been my choice of shot. Andy's taking a much shorter shot, but it is hampered. That's clean and a hit, I think.
Ooh, not good.
So that is not very good from Mark's perspective. Disappointing. One of the great things about hitting the brown ball rather than the green ball is that if Andy wants to do a TPO, the ball's polarity is going to work much better for him now. Normally you hit the green on your lift shot and brown goes to hoop 2. If when you hit the 4-back ball first, that naturally is going to go to hoop 3 after hoop 1. So he can punt it in the lawn now. The hoop 1 ball will go to hoop 2. And he'll be able to get brown to hoop 3 should he want to do a TPO. I don't know what he's going to do. Let's see. Let's get him through hoop 1 first, and then we should get a better idea. Yeah, again, looking forward to this Fletcher-Death match. Robbie won 3-0 yesterday, but Greg had chances. Robbie missed some shots. Here we go. We've got an update. Bamford v Forster. Break all. And Forster's made a leave, and Bamford has missed. So a chance for a on-time TP. Reg has missed a short lift shot. So can Stephen win the first 17 TP with what hopefully will be a routine triple once he makes hoop 1? Thanks for the update. Andy hasn't quite rushed where he wanted to, so he's not going to get a perfect hoop 2 partner here. And that's short as well. That's pointing at corner 1. The good thing is it's quite a short rush. Interesting question from Gabriel Furs. Is the TPO less wise due to the time limit? I don't think so. 2.5 hours is quite a long time. And if he gets to 1 and peg V1, it's almost in his favour. Because as soon as he gets control and he makes 2 or 3 hoops, he's going to be ahead. So I'm definitely thinking a TPO is a valid choice here. Not a bad rush to 1, but these are just a little bit of a tester. Ideally wants to rush over to Brown. And I never liked playing hoop approaches not standing up. They always made me more likely to not get the pace right. So I'd rather play a firm drive to approach than this sort of half roll not standing up.
Keep going.
It's a failable hoop, this. And remember, it's the hoop 1 ball he's taken up to hoop 2. So Mark will shoot down with that if he fails the hoop. It's a really important shot. Good shot. And gets the rush over to Brown as well. So
very nice.
Every chance for the TPO should he want it.
That was a very smooth angled hoop shot.
Yeah. So a chance for Andy to get both white and brown up to hoop 3.
Now, these hoops are set to virtual contact, so if that ball hadn't been exactly in the right spot, it would have stuck in the hoop.
And both these players yesterday were failing hoops. And particularly the longer it went on, the more they were failing them. I was looking at both of them during game 4 yesterday, and they both looked absolutely shattered. Big, long days in the heat. You see Reg Bamford in the background. That tends to suggest that Stephen Forster didn't finish from his chance. So that's more of a pivot than a hoop 3 Parnier. So Brown will be the hoop 3 Parnier. And he's just come a bit short with the pink, really. He wants to rush to the middle of the east boundary, and it's more pointing at corner 2. So he does need to really sort of cut this a wee bit. It's not bad. It's
He's
not
going
bad.
out of bounds. I thought he'd make it out of bounds off the lawn so we could come back.
He really did want it to go out of bounds. He's now limited his space, and he can't get Brown over to hoop 3 and hold for his rush. He'll get it most of the way there, I think. But these D-ended Pidcock mallets, they're quite heavy, and they don't give you a good stop shot. And it's one of the reasons why they went out of fashion a wee bit.
A lot of brass.
Yeah, a lot of brass. So, to me, putting Brown there is an indication he's not that fussed about doing a TPO. This is going to be a ball to 4 back. And it'll be a lot slower a ball to 4 back than Avery's. Meanwhile, for the first time for a while, I've seeing Ben Rothman in play on lawn 7. Logan had quite a lot of play early on, and I'm not quite sure. I think he's got to Penult, and I think Logan's broken down Penult and 4 back, and Ben's got in, and he's now got a break for 1-on-1. And you can see round that hoop, it's a bit shinier, Tom. And indeed, as the week goes on, because so much of the play is around the hoops, the players walking on that area flattens the grass, makes it a bit quicker. One of the things we'll notice in the final is that isn't the case, because all the hoops will be in completely different areas of the lawn. And that's the one negative of sort of moving onto a fresh lawn for the final. Because I like that extra difficulty that's created by speeding the pace up.
You like that?
I do. Just that extra challenge to keep control of the balls.
That's true. You can see the dryness creeping in, which usually means more speed.
Yeah. So we should probably mention Bev Cardo. We mentioned the organising committee, but Bev chaired that.
Indeed.
Did a good job of getting everything together. And Bev and Randy, one of the sponsors, I believe, as well. So big thank you to both of those.
Bev has fantastic organizational skills, and she brought this group together and a year ago, and got it nicely coordinated.
So he has brought the brown ball up here. It's green that's the. I'm trying to get my. It's brown that's on 4 back, but he doesn't seem to be too fussed about getting it behind the hoop, so I don't think he's looking at peeling. Let's see if he plays a thick takeoff here or a thin one. That's a thin one. So, yeah, no TPO.
By TPO, we're talking about Andy peeling the brown ball of marks through the final 3 hoops and putting it against the peg and getting it removed from the game, which would be a big benefit. But it looks as though he's not pursuing that.
Looks like a standard break. So I think we'll shortly go to commercial and rejoin later in Andrew's break.
Yay. Tom, come on in and replace Tom.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to change them. All right. Cool. Okay, so after we go to commercial, Tom Balding will be replacing Tom Cooper, and we'll come back with follow Andrew's break later on.
Morning.
So back with Andrew. He's on hoop 4. Welcome, Tom Balding.
How's it going, everybody?
A reminder, I'm Chris Clark, and we haven't had a chance to commentate together, Tom. So what are your feelings about the event so far?
Oh, it's been a really good event. I always love the NCC, and I'm really happy that they made the switch over to quadways for this event. They've been surprisingly difficult. They've been resetting the courts every other day with new holes.
Yep.
And even on day-old holes, you know, with proper upkeep, they've been testing for the players. Maybe not the best for GC conditions, but for AC right now, the lawns are very fast. Hoops are demanding some respect, and so we've seen some less than clean play across the entire board. I think in block play,
Which is great, isn't it? It's nice to get errors from the top players.
Yeah, there was not a lot of triples, as many as you would expect in block play from lawns that are fairly true and consistent. So normally you'd expect under such conditions that, you know, you'd see a lot of letters, but it was difficult, I think, in the first couple of days for people to really be able to get those peeling turns together, just because the hoops, especially on peels, were just so demanding.
And the combination of that with the Invictus balls as well.
Yes, so the Invictus balls, I love them. They play great, but they do have some more pull and different characteristics than the balls that we're typically used to. So I think we've seen triples and breaks become a little bit more easy as people have adjusted to the different characteristics. So it'll be interesting to see going forward, perhaps as these balls gain wider use, how that's going to continue to affect people, or if we're going to see people adjust to it more quickly.
I know I watched some of your play early in the tournament, and you're quite confident running the hoops firmly, but when you had a softer one, you were really finding them quite challenging.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting. I've been to the NCC a lot, and like I said, I wasn't. Normally, the soft hoops around here are very. You can just kind of plop your way through them and get any rush you want. You know, if I had 4 feet to run a hoop by or less to keep a rush, I could do it.
Yeah.
So then you came out here, maybe you had a slight angle on a 1 foot hoop shot, and you think, okay, business as usual, and then it just sticks. So had to slightly alter the way that I was approaching certain hoops. Even when I was running them softly, I just had to slightly change the way I was stroking through the ball.
Right.
To get just that little extra bit of roll through. But challenges to overcome.
And as one of the top players in the event, you were a medalist last time, got to the semi-final in London. And from my perspective, you're a significantly better player 2 years later.
Some days.
You've seen all the top players now. You've settled into a top echelon of the sport. Who are you picking out as the two finalists?
You know, up until yesterday, I would have had just based on what I had seen, I would have had one of my picks settled as Zach Watson, just for a lot of reasons. He had looked very strong in the block. He is an extremely competitive player, and this is his home club.
Right.
It was very surprising and from an American perspective, you know, upsetting to see him go out like that yesterday. So that has kind of shaken my pick there.
Okay.
Ben's been playing very strong. So has Reg. Reg has looked really good.
Yep.
So obviously you always have to put Reg in that conversation on
Yep.
that side of the bracket. On the other side of the bracket, Matthew's always a favorite. You know, he's made 2 consecutive finals. He's playing really well. He's here at an American club that he has a lot of experience at, you know, in front of people he knows. So there's a lot of environmental reasons why Matthew is a favorite to go to the final.
And potentially going to be playing someone who is exhausted.
Right. So we've had this grueling match between Mark Avery and Andrew Johnson that we're watching now, which started yesterday morning at 8:30.
Yeah.
And was finishing up as the sun set, and is still not finished.
And started early this morning at 8 o'clock.
Right. So, and I'm waiting to play, if they choose to play the Shield, I'm waiting to play the loser of this match. So I don't even get to play Shield until we figure out what happens with this. But, so it may very well be that Matthew will, regardless of who wins this, have somewhat of an easier time, even though this person who wins will have had court time this morning. They just mentally may not be.
Mentally and physically.
Yeah.
Andrew still quite early on in the break at Hoop 5. Are you surprised that in a deciding game he didn't choose to TPO? Because he could have sort of controlled the game after that, and you put a lot of pressure on the opponent. They never get to join up.
Yeah, I just think that if we look up at the scores here, Andrew hasn't had a peeling turn in this match. And when I was double banking with him yesterday morning in the early game, saw a lot of back and forth play, a lot of breakdowns.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming most of the games based on the scores have had similar
You're
structures because
quite right, yeah.
It's taken forever.
Yeah.
And normally clean games with peeling turns go very, very quickly. So there may just be a confidence issue there with Andrew. He may just be thinking it's too risky at this point, especially with Mark Avery already being a breakup, to try to start a TPO because, God forbid, you get 2 peels for the opponent, break down, and it's like, oh, well, now I just need to run a break around with 1 peel.
Yeah.
So
For people who aren't sort of used to Andrew, because he doesn't play a huge amount of croquet. This season, he's won the President's Cup in the UK. That's for the top 8 players in England. And we allow people who aren't English to play in it, and he's come over from Ireland, and he's won that tournament. And he's also a past medalist, Tom.
he told me a 2 times bronze medalist.
Yeah. So, you know, he's someone who is targeting this event. This is the event he wants to win. This is the event he thinks he can win. And he's really putting every ounce of mental effort into his play here. So overall, I think he'll be quite confident. He's won the President's Cup. He's still in this event. And this match can go either way from here.
Yeah, obviously on the other side, you have Mark Avery, who's very experienced and was a quarterfinalist against Matthew last time.
Yeah.
And I believe the fact the other day was he was the silver medalist at the first ever AC Worlds.
He was.
And so been at a very high level for a very long time.
And more recently, something like about 2023, he won the British Open Championship.
Right, against James Death.
Very difficult event to win.
Yeah.
And most impressively, it was approximately 36 years since he first won it.
Wow.
So won it in 87, and then I think he won it again in 23. So 36 years between these two victories. He's just as good, if not better, a player now than when he was 20 years old. So he's been there, done it, and I know lots of people fancied him. He was doing quite well on peeling turns. He had 2 triple peels in the first round, and another one, game 1 here. And since then, he's been ground down by Andrew's play.
Yeah, Andrew is Mark is a fairly quick player from what I've witnessed.
Yeah.
Very fluid. He gets on with it. Andrew's a little bit more methodical. I hesitate to say slow. He gets on with it, but just very sort of metronomic in the way that he does things. And if he's at a slightly slower tempo because of conditions or feeling uncomfortable, it can be a bit of a pace breaker, I think, for a quicker player like Mark.
I'll say it then, Tom. Andrew's slow. Oh, that's interesting. Yes, I think you're right there, Keith. Mark is the youngest ever Open champion.
There you go.
So, yeah, I think that's absolutely right. A really tough event to win. We'll try and keep you in touch with the other games. I mentioned on the adjacent lawn, Logan had broken down 4-back and Penult, and Benny's now halfway round on his first break. So, again, that's a slow first game. It's going to go on for quite a lot longer with, 4-back and Penult aren't very good clips, are they, Tom?
No.
You don't often finish from 4-back and Penult in one turn.
Yeah, you'd pretty much have to have the balls fall into your lap in exactly the right spot. The opponent would pretty much have to give you the straight double setup.
Yeah.
So
now that's a nice tight approach from quite a long way away. Yeah. If you can start doing that regularly and get forward rushes out of the hoops, you can do anything you want on these lawns. But most people haven't quite got the approach that as tight as they need to.
Yeah, that was one of the things I've been working on in the lead up to this tournament was, traditionally, and even back in 23, if people go back and watch the footage, that my hoop approaches were not the tightest ever. I was regularly taking on hoops from about 1 foot, 1.5 feet, and it was like, all right. And obviously I didn't know exactly how challenging the conditions would be coming into this to run hoops, but thank the Lord that I was working on getting within 10 inches of the hoop. And even then it was like, all right, some of these hoops are still a little tricky to keep your rush on.
Yeah, you should come out to New Zealand when United has a New Zealand Open, and that'll be a eye opener for you.
I'm looking forward to the AC Worlds. I believe are in New Zealand next time around.
In Wellington, though, so you won't get the unique challenge that is United. But yeah, if we get some nice weather, hopefully the hoops will be firm.
Yeah.
So, what leave do you think Andy's going to be making?
I don't know his normal preference between NSLs and diagonals. It looks like since he's got pretty much all the balls corralled up here that we may be seeing some sort of an NSL.
And when they're on 1 and 4-back, you always want the 4-back ball to be on the hoop 4, don't you?
Yes. So because you don't want them lifting that because it gives you an on-time triple if they leave it there, even if they do the defensive hit into corner 4. So that's one thing, I think, aspect of the game that I personally need to do some work on is I've always just set diagonals. It's the leave that I learned first. It's the one I'm most comfortable with. And so I think in those situations where my opponent is a breakup, if I'm not going to do the TPO, I think I need to become a little bit more just reliable with just, okay, I'm just going to set the NSL and just sort of force them into it because normally I just settle for a delayed triple off of a diagonal. And on conditions like this, with peels being as difficult as they are, at least giving yourself the opportunity to get the triple on time is
it's important.
A valuable thing.
Very much so, yeah.
The only thing that I think the main thing is seeing, I would be somewhat uncomfortable in this position because my stop shot ratio is not great, despite all of my efforts. So
got quite a heavy mallet, haven't you?
It's 2 pounds 14.
Oh, okay. I thought it was about just 3.
My last one was 3.
Okay.
But I've used this current one since the 2023 Worlds, and I've even borrowed someone's mallet that's a couple ounces lighter than mine, and I just don't know what it is. I struggle to get above a 1 to 4.5, 1 to 5 stop shot.
Well, my mallet was 3 1.5, and I was really good at stop shots. So it's not just about weight.
Right. There's something I'm doing. But
there's quite a lot of technique in it, and there's also what the end face is made of. Mine was always wood.
Okay, yeah. Because I know James Deeth gets miraculously good stop shots.
He does.
And with that old wood mallet. Yeah, although I see that he's got a different one now.
New mallet this year for James, and he's going very well for him.
Yeah.
That's just drifted on a yard or two further than he wanted.
Yeah, but it'll be all right. Yeah, I don't know. I've had my swing slow mode like with video, and me and Matthew and a couple others looked at it, and we couldn't figure out what was wrong. I was striking it clean, and so one of these days I'll unlock the secret of a better stop shot, and then maybe certain lines of play will be a little bit easier for me.
Now, we had a comment I just missed on the screen. He's missed it. He's missed it. So, yeah,
Wow.
Mark's break was 16 minutes. This has been 30 for 16. So that gives you a very clear idea of the time. And
Wow.
as I do quite a lot, I mention imperfect croquet strokes. And you said, but it'll be fine. And just occasionally, 1 out of every 100,
It's not
it
fine.
isn't fine.
Yeah.
And if it's in the 5th game of a World Championship final, that is quite an important time for it not to be fine.
Yeah.
And Mark
Has
was thinking
everything
about
now.
taking a lift, and he hasn't got a lift, has he?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't have a
He
lift.
didn't make it through one back.
So this is quite interesting. If he takes a lift here, is he going to spot it, Andy? Because he hasn't made one back.
So-
That pink clip's on one back. Now he's taken the lift. Now he's
oh.
realised he hasn't got it. Now he realised maybe Andy shouted out, "No, hold on, what are you doing?" So having gone through the mental thing, I'm about to hit pink. I think this is more difficult now.
Yeah,
It's a yard longer. He's got it.
He's got it.
Okay. So all the balls in the world, he'll
Yeah.
get pink to hoop 2, which means he doesn't have to have partner at hoop 2. And he'll be able to get brown over to hoop 3 before hoop 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why he's rolling here.
I still think hitting brown would have been better just because you can roll it immediately over to 3 and get on pink to send it back to 2.
Yeah. I think the reason he didn't do it was it was 2 to 3 feet further.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take the shortest possible shot. That's a lovely pass roll he's
That
played.
is. So he'll actually be able, if he wants to push this towards the corner and get brown over to 3 now.
Again, I don't like doing that because if after hoop 1 you don't get a rush out of hoop 1, if you've got brown at hoop 3 and pink at hoop 2, you've got a big croquet stroke to play.
This is true.
Why not just put brown 10 yards north of hoop 1 or near the peg, and then wherever white finishes, you've got a easy series of shots. You can swap white out. White can become the pivot, and brown goes to hoop 3. And keeping the pivot reduces the amount of yardage that your ball travels. I do think Mark will win here, even after all the rubbish we've seen early on in the match. I think this is the sort of chance he'll gobble up.
Yeah. So what was very interesting was in the first game of the match yesterday, I watched as Mark had already with green made hoop 1 in a previous turn, reapproached hoop 1 with green, made it, and didn't catch his mistake until he had already ran the hoop. So, but it just seems like, and then with that lift, it just seems that maybe there's just the exhaustion of the match has created some mental hiccups.
Yeah.
So,
I certainly know as someone who is, my memory's getting worse as I get older. And Mark is 60 plus now. It does become more difficult just to settle and get your mind working. But he's got such good croquet strokes, I think he will finish here.
this one was a bit wider than I think he intended.
Nice wide split shot he played there.
See, that's where a good stop shot for me would be very beneficial. Brown would not have made it that far.
That's right. It is an important shot to have.
Yeah.
I know when Robert Fulford changed mallets, he was really quite upset by the fact that his new mallet, whilst it had a good moment of inertia and helped hit the ball straight, he just lost a little bit of a stop shot.
Yeah.
And you have to adapt your game, don't you?
Yeah, I've tried other mallets from members at my club and different things, and mallets that are 212 and mallets that are wood, or I've tried an Invictus and everything, and I can't seem to find one that greatly increases the ratio of my stop shot. So clearly, it's something I'm doing. Maybe I'm just cursed.
Well, timing is so important. That's a lovely view of that wide angle. He almost not got 90 degrees on that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Almost.
And I mean, green didn't even get past pink.
Yeah. Just to update followers of Ben Rothman, he's approaching 3-back on his break. Again, it's been quite slow. A reminder, Logan on 4-back and Penalt. So in about 5 or 6 minutes, Logan will have a lift shot, and we'll keep you updated on that. Very difficult to see the outside lawns, lawns 3 and lawns 11, where the other 2 quarterfinals are. I think only one of them's in action so far.
It's a little shorter than what he wanted.
Correct, and that is not good.
Yeah. So now it's going to be hard to place the peely accurately while still guaranteeing a good hoop shot.
And Mark tends to put it deeper than I do and try and run it past it and rush it back. And again, that's under hit.
Yeah.
He's going to have to give this a bit of oomph, this hoop shot. You can't dribble at them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
He got lucky on that one. It caught a lot of wire.
Yeah.
So that could have easily, with that power, gone a yard or 2 past Brown.
Yep. So you've got 2 choices now. You can play a straight stop shot for the peel. Just tap white and roll down. And that means you don't have to account for pull.
You may be able to see almost directly down the line of the peel if we move this curtain a little bit and see how much split he's playing for. From the camera, we can't quite.
I think because he's got such a good hoop 4-pan here, I think Mark will play this straight, tap white and roll down. If pink was worse at hoop 4, he might play it with pull. But I think he's going to commit to the straight shot.
Yeah.
If he draws this, the rest of it is so much easier.
Yeah.
If you peel it, you really think you're halfway home. And what's he doing? Is he play? I think he might be playing with pull now.
Well, like you said, maybe just avoiding those big croquet strokes.
He's good at them.
Yeah,
though.
he is. He's playing with
good
pull.
at them. And that
has bounced off and is in front of the right wire from.
I think that's rush peelable, but he's got to get right on top of it.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people get rejected on those rush peel attempts.
Yeah. So he's going to have to get a rush out of hoop 5.
Yeah, and you can see that him there putting his mallet down on that angle, indicating the angle he thinks he needs to hit it through, and it was pretty slanted.
Yeah, it's not the ball you would go back to after hoop 4.
Right.
You'd go back to it after hoop 5.
Yeah. And there might be the option, if he can get position on it, he could opt to just tap it gently and try to get it more centered and then take off over to 6.
Yep.
Whereas a skate ball is. So
I think it's far enough back. He'll try the rush peel, and that might help him get back to an on-time triple. So Ben's now round to 4-back. So it's 1 on 4-back v 4-back and Penalt. And he's making what looks like a reverse NSL. Quite an unusual leave. I don't think it's a particularly good one.
you said Logan's clips are 4-back and Penalt?
Yeah. So
right, because that wouldn't give Ben a whole lot of options if he chooses to lift the hoop 2 ball if he's for hoop 1.
yeah, and if he shoots into corner 2,
Yeah.
you've got to play some decent shots to pick up a break from there.
Yeah. Ben did play a fantastic pickup, though, from Fulford's leave last night.
From a defensive popping to 3 leave,
Yeah.
it was a really good pickup. And not just to pick up the break, but to pick it up fast enough to get the delayed TP in. Very, very good turn.
Yeah. As the sun was setting quickly.
Yeah.
So is he going to approach this now?
No, Mark, yes, I think he is. It's dangerous. If Brown sticks in the hoop here,
You don't
you
got
might not be able to take off close to the pink.
I think
white.
I think if he hits this hard enough, it's either going to go through or reject.
Yeah.
It's very hard, I think, to stick these in the jaws if he hits it with enough force. Yeah.
That was just a controlled strike. So well done. Got right on top of it.
Managed to keep it in lawn.
And he won't bother doing, he is. I thought he would just thick take off this. This is a big pass roll.
Another shot that I am not uber confident in is my long pass rolls.
Yeah, White's in a good position for it, isn't it? You shouldn't get crosswired from that or anything. And it's a lovely croquet stroke.
He's played it really well. Pace is perfect.
That is really, really good.
Brown ends within 2 yards of penalt. Penalt. And so, yeah, that's another stroke that I would not play. I would just be taking off. It's like I don't trust my pass roll nearly enough to be doing that. So certain things for me to go home and work on.
Yeah,
But
yeah. He doesn't have to get a rush out of this, but it would be nice. Now he's hampered.
yeah. And again, just like we said, these hoops, when you're slightly angled or you try to run them with more control.
And that's sort of why I mentioned it before the shot, because he didn't need that rush. He could
No.
just play the croquet stroke afterwards. And
Pink is just floating free over there. He
With
just needs to get to the east side of it.
yeah, with it being angled, I would have just given it that extra 50% oomph. I'm not sure how easy this is. Mark immediately put his mallet up, so he obviously thought it looks fairly straightforward.
So I think he can get a clean hit on roughly in the middle of that white from my view here through the window. Yeah, I'm a little bit more leftward of where the line of the camera is. I think he can strike at least half ball
Okay.
fairly reliably. Yeah, and he's just going to take this through the hoop. I think this will go fairly easily, but well, now there seems to be some discussion.
Probably getting the hammer to lower the carrot,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, because he's going to have to, if he wants to hit this particularly full, that from the camera's viewpoint, that right-hand stanchion, he's going to have to slide really close to it.
Correct.
So he would be hitting that carrot. Yeah, not the situation you like to find yourself in when everything was together and you just
Yeah.
hit a beautiful shot. And
David Malouf coming out just to try and get those carrots more flush to the ground. And the reason we leave them proud to start with is it allows you to penetrate a bit further as the day goes on and firm them up more easily.
boom,
Oh,
center
that was
ball.
easy. That was easy. That was
Yeah.
a rush.
All right. Well, lucky for Mark.
Lots of choices here, aren't there, Tom? You could just leave that there as your escape ball,
Yeah.
or you could send it to one back and then hit pink. I'm tempted just to leave that there as my escape ball, take off to pink, rush pink so I'm getting a dolly rush on brown to hoop 6 and send pink to one back.
Looks like, yeah, he's just tidying it up as an escape ball.
Yeah, that's okay.
Slight cut rush here to get it to the south side of brown. That's fairly close to brown. So,
I think he's got enough of a stop shot to get that most of the way to one back.
must be nice. But maybe I need to start hitting my stop shots Irish grip.
Well, that sort of flat Irish grip does help you get a nice flat swing.
Yeah, the light hands and everything. So,
Yeah.
that's something to experiment with. So if it helps.
And for my extreme stop shot, I always held the mallet right at the top and fairly loose. And that's pretty good.
That's really good.
So you don't want to rush this directly in front of 6. It needs to be just off centre, one side or another, and he's rushed it directly in front.
Yeah.
So that's going to make the peel angled now, and possibly from further away than he wanted.
It's always when you don't want to get it right in front of the hoop that you get it.
Yeah. So just little worries, little imperfections coming in that might just give Andy a fraction of hope. If you can flick off the wire and get behind Brown. No, it's gone through straight. So now he's got to dribble this off. Don't want to move it more than half a ball, really. Oh, he's hit that firmly. Wow. I'd have just been really dribbling at that. Now, one of the good things about white being there is you can just play this with a straight stop shot.
Right. Because you'll have a decent angle for a split to get back over to pink.
Yeah.
And get white all the way down. So he can focus on just jawsing it here.
Yeah, you can rush white more to the eastern side of the lawn. So anyway, Ben went around with that slightly unusual reverse NSL, and Logan has hit in with the ball at hoop 2, which was his penultimate ball. And I assume he'll be making 2 hoops and a really, really good lead.
Oh, he's gotten that all. He played that withdrawal and he got it all the way through.
That was low percentage. He'll be absolutely thrilled with that.
Yeah. Got it through by at least a foot. So, and he's in great position to get this break back in order. So we may even see an opportunity here if he wants it to attempt the peel going to 3-back.
Definitely.
So
definitely. And we haven't seen a lot of triples finished before, straight rover peel.
yeah, those peels either trying to do it to 2-back or 3-back because of the draw they require have rejected a lot.
Yeah.
People are so focused on getting to their pioneer, I don't think they're really pushing it that hard to get the peel. I obviously love to get the peel early. I would almost have preferred Brown to stay in the jaws.
Yeah, I
to
would
do
as well.
this because
Yeah.
then you'd get the opportunity to do it at 2-back. Whereas from this position, it's virtually impossible. You'd have to get perfect shape on it and hit a beautiful cut rush to even have a fighting chance.
Yeah.
But if it were in the jaws, it would be a more trivial rush peel.
So Logan's made penultimate by 12 yards
Oh no!
and has hit a 5-yarder, and he should be able to make rover.
Oh, yes, I haven't been updating the scoreboard. Bad of me. So he's got. We'll call it while I do the other number, and then
+2 has been used. 9 plus 2.
voila.
And most of these hoops, you can see Mark is running from under 1 foot. So just, 4 or 5 inches away.
But even on that hoop, it's a perfect example. It was slightly angled, and just to make sure he doesn't hang up, he gives it a little more gas and ends up coming through by 3 yards.
Yeah.
So
And here I normally make sure I get well to the east of the peelie. Don't want to get crosswired from it. Pink down to 3-back, green going to the east of the peelie. Rush it across the lawn, roll it down to rover going to your 2-back pioneer. Just make sure you don't get crosswired from it.
Chris Williams, by the way, we missed earlier, but he said, I think John Solomon, when he was 20, was about a year younger than Mark, 21, when he won the Opens first time.
Was he? Okay.
And then Chris Williams says James Heath was reckoned to be 20 in 1973 or 1873. He said, but I assume that's it.
So
Perhaps
who was the other person?
James Heath, or maybe that was a misspelling of Deeth. This is
In
Chris.
what year? In what year?
The comment says, verbatim, James Heath was reckoned to be 20 in 1873, so Mark is probably third youngest.
Oh, that's interesting. So Chris will mean that. That is 1873. Mark Heath, someone who I wouldn't have been able to even say won the Open Championship, the first one being in 1867. So that's a nice croquet stroke. He's taking the sort of easier option of playing to the west of the hoop. It makes the croquet stroke marginally longer.
Yeah.
That's why I tend to play to the other side. But I expect Brown to finish within a yard of rover here, and he'll get green nicely to 2-back. He's got all the shots. You see how much pull he's allowing for there. That's a good 4 feet, and it hasn't pulled as much as I thought.
Well, on a roll shot of that high of a ratio, he's going to minimize the pull, so I think he just overcompensated.
Both balls overhit by 10%. He'll be disappointed here. You don't want to be approaching 2-back from this far away.
Yeah.
Is this going to be Andy's last chance to get an error out of him? Logan now approaching rover from 5 yards to the side. Mark playing a good hoop approach, put the front ball deep, and he's got a really straight, short hoop.
Yeah.
I think he might be. Yeah. Here we go. That's through to the boundary.
And it's nicked wide on the way through. Pushed it over. But he'll actually have a really good line here to approach Brown to maybe pop it back in front of Rover if he wants to still go for it. Pink's in a wonderful position to attempt the peel. What is he doing? He hit white.
Again, it's this. Are we sure
He
that
hit white.
mentally he's sort of still with it?
He had already hit white.
So that's
Andy said something.
Andy's. Yeah, pick that up. Now there's no penalty for this.
Right, it's just incorrect position. Or
Yeah, so the ball's going to be, green's going to be put back where it was on the boundary, and then white's going to take croquet from it. So there's no penalty for that type of...
opposite.
Yeah.
But-
Opposite, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yes.
Tom, you're quite right.
Okay, so back in business.
Logan has made Rover, so he's now going to be 4-back and peg against 1 and 4-back and making a non-lift leave.
Keith Ayton says John Solomon was a month or so older than Mark if Solomon's birthday as given in Wikipedia is correct.
Ah.
So we're getting down to the finer points.
And go and find out about James Heath then. Yeah. That'll test Google out.
So this came up a little short, so he'll have to cut this a bit.
Yeah.
He's within a yard of it, though, so should be able to get some look at the hoop with a good shot. That's going to be a tricky one. I would be tempted just to take off here and just push it into a tighter position.
Completely valid line of play, that, Tom. I think Mark will have a go. I think he'll anticipate at least hitting the hoop.
Right.
But nothing wrong with taking off here.
Yeah.
And we should mention that there is another line of play, isn't there? There's rolling Brown over about 5 yards, and then when he makes 3 back, rushing it back in front.
Right, treating it as his reception ball for 3 back.
Yeah.
So,
But I think he'll fancy. Well, I'll be very surprised if he misses the hoop. And if you hit the wire, it should stay within a foot or so.
I wonder how much. I can't tell from here how much pull he's allowing for.
No, I'm
It
gonna.
doesn't look like a lot.
I'm gonna aim it outside the right wire as he plays it.
He missed. He did not.
Yeah.
So I think he was aiming mostly in the middle of the hoop, and he missed the entire hoop.
Yeah, so you needed
Wow.
to aim outside the right wire there. So actually, to miss the hoop completely.
That was a critical error. He'll still probably get his peely back in shape, but it's just you don't want this late in the break to be having those types of things.
No, the normal play here is to ignore the peely after 3 back and rush back to it after 4 back.
So Chris Williams says Keith Ayton is correct. I was working on John Solomon being born in 1932, which was all that was known after he died, and had not updated my spreadsheet after I found it was actually 1931.
Oh, right, okay. So, yeah, I think he's going to ignore the peely for a couple of hoops and go back to it after 4 back. He's got a nice rush up the lawn here. That would be very useful because, to be honest, white isn't a very good 4-back partner. If you'd have had to roll to that, it would have tested even more.
Slightly hampered on this.
Oh, he can
in his
punt this
stance.
6 or 7 yards up the lawn, no trouble. It's not really very hampered at all. Yeah, I wouldn't get a referee out.
He's punted it further than 6 or 7 yards.
So he does need that rush back to the south boundary after 4 back. Absolutely vital. Or else the turn isn't going to finish, probably.
Well, the good thing about 4 back is when in doubt, just punch it through to the boundary and take whatever first rush you get.
You see, I don't like that on the basis that they can come out on quite varied angles. I want to approach the hoop, sending my front ball 2 feet north of it and run it by 2 yards. As soon as you start punting that front ball forward, sometimes you get unlucky. And that's not very good.
That's
That is really
well
poor.
short. So
Jeez.
he'll be happy here just to straighten this up a bit and do a reverse takeoff and try to get within maybe a foot or 2 of the hoop.
Just a little bit of pressure coming on him now. Again, showing why your option of just a little thick takeoff, leaving it there, would be the safer option.
What? And again, these are the situations where
That is not in
that's
front.
not runnable. Wow. Maybe some interference from the old hoop holes there to the side, but he just he tried.
It. Yes, under hit it.
And that's, I think, the problem with trying to get that so controlled. I would be in that position when I didn't get the rush. Yes, balls come out at weird angles. It's like, I'm just getting a hoop shot. I'm going through. I'll take whatever rush I get, because I'd rather at least finish the turn under control than get the triple. So now Andrew will have a lift.
Well, I think one thing we should say is if Mark thinks the balls are sufficiently bad here, he can shoot at Brown. If he thinks he's already giving away too much, Brown has not been hit. I think he'll probably go in a corner, and I think he'll probably go to corner 2.
So Andrew does have some awkward clips here. He has pink on one back, and then his other ball is for 1. And there's no... He obviously would like to promote the 1 back ball and get it to 4 back and just set a controlled leave. But not only does he not have a lot of hoops to affect that, the balls are also not in very great positions to do that at all. So
I might go to corner 4.
He is seriously looking at this.
Not convinced this is the right shot. Here we go.
I don't think this is pot.
Oh, it's definitely on. You can definitely run it. It's just really, really difficult.
Yeah.
You got to hit it really hard. And
because it looks to me like, he's decided.
I think that's wise.
Because it looks to me like it was in line, the ball was in the same line as the shadow of the hoop. And as I look at some of the other hoops, that shadow is well over 45 degrees.
Oh, it is. It was definitely over 45.
Yeah.
But we've seen if you hit it hard enough, the hoops do get bullied. So anyway, that is a match-winning turn put down. And it's not the first match-winning turn he's had that didn't finish.
I'll never be able to play my shield match. But so, what's your go-to move here if you're Andrew?
I'm going to lift the pink and hit white.
All right. Going to try to rush it all the way down there to Brown?
Well, actually, is Brown... I thought Brown was further north. Interesting. I think I'm still going to lift pink and rush white off the south boundary.
It's the shorter shot.
Yeah.
So, and then you can you have a reasonable chance of getting some sort of rush on Brown back up to 1 back.
Correct.
And feeding that white ball over to 2 back. So, and then you'll have to make a somewhat, somewhat hasty pickup of green in the corner before you make 3 back, but very doable.
Yeah, it should be able, because he'll get his partner ball to 2 back.
Right.
So he should be able to make either an NSL or a diagonal spread at his choice. Providing you play this nice tonky rush. Yeah. And you'd be very good at this because you like hitting your shots hard.
I would never hit this. This would be in the cabana every time.
Yeah. For me...
Where in the cabana it would be is debatable.
Yeah, for me, hitting this hard enough to rush it off the south boundary would slightly decrease my chance of hitting it dead straight.
Yeah. James Heath was apparently 19 when he won in 1873, according to the Sussex County website.
There we go. Very good.
But Mark was 16 days younger than John Solomon when he won.
So this is a big surprise to me.
Yeah, because...
Why would you play your hoop 1 ball? Is he going to...
With no real break prospect that's any better than your 1 back ball.
Obviously, you could do a single peel and peg Brown out whilst potentially peeling yourself to 2 back.
Right.
So you'd be 2 back and peg giving contact against 4 back. That's valid. Otherwise, I'm not really sure why you would do that.
So, assuming Andrew is not the heaviest hitter, which it doesn't seem that comfortably he wasn't confident in getting that rush all the way down off the south boundary.
Maybe.
maybe the idea here, at the very least, is if he does it this way, he's at least approaching hoop one off of his partner ball, and if something goes awry, he can hide in the corner.
Yeah.
So slightly more defensive attitude there, putting Brown as far away from green and the opponents as it can possibly get. But I just think that I don't know, I think it betrays a lack of confidence.
I sort of agree. And unless he wants this pegged out ending, and I like a pegged out ending, just your opponent's already under so much pressure.
Yeah.
It's the last game. They've failed to finish when they had a chance. Now you take away their partner balls, so they never get to join up for the rest of the game.
He's short a bit. Cuttable, but Brown is good. But he'll have to hit a really good shot here to have a reasonable approach to hoop one. And again, I haven't seen Andrew hit a lot of these sort of longer rushes with great power, so...
It's interesting. When he won the President's Cup, one of the things that the players said about him was the lawns were very slow that week.
Oh, that's a good shot, though.
And they said that he was very good at power croquet strokes. So if you're very good at power croquet strokes, why aren't you able to play a power rush? You'd think the two would go together. Because he was definitely had an advantage of his power on those slow lawns.
Yeah. So one of the things I noticed, he has an incredible pass roll.
Yes.
One of the best ones I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he puts both of his hands down towards the bottom of the mallet, and he says that, it does bang, it does sort of mess his wrists up a little bit, but normally he's used to playing on those slow, soggy Irish courts. And so he's gotten accustomed to it when he has to just sort of crack it everywhere.
Right.
So you can see even here this roll shot, hands very close together towards the lower part of the mallet. Most people would have much more separation.
Well, I'd be playing it standing up.
Yeah. So
it's okay. Not fantastic, but okay.
Runnable. It's just the problem of running this with control. You end up right in the middle of pink and brown with a 10-yarder either direction.
Yeah, that's true with adequate control to be able to hit pink.
I don't think we have the ability to add a time clock to the scoreboard, but they started at 8, so it's currently 10:54.
We don't know what time they started the 5th game, though.
Oh, they were still in the 4th game.
And the 4th game went on quite a while.
Oh, boy.
So, don't think this is anywhere near time yet.
So, total match time, they started at 8:30 yesterday, and we'll assume just an hour for lunch. And they were still playing Win the Sunset yesterday evening, which would probably be sometime around 7 o'clock or...
Yeah. So that is a very interesting point, Tom, because if Andy thought that this might be the time turn, so let's say there's 50 minutes left, can he play a 50-minute turn with 2 peels on partner and peg himself out to go 1 point ahead?
Interesting. So sort of like an American rules way of doing things, where it's like, hey, I can't afford for this to go into last ball with me down.
That's right.
So I just think at the pace of play he's been playing at, as we remarked earlier, his first break, 6 hoops in 30 minutes.
Well, I'm trying to say make it as long as possible. Say this is going to be the time turn. Take as long as you want over it. So time is called during the turn. 2 peels on partner, peg out, give contact, and be 1 point ahead. Is that an interesting choice? The other thing you can do is you can have a normal pace-bound 4-back, and then if Mark misses, the next break can be as long as he wants. Just before 10, we think.
All right, so James Deeth is telling us that by his estimations, they've started this game just before 10, so we'll call it an hour ago as it is 10:55.
So there's lots of time left in that case.
Yeah.
So time isn't an issue.
So, Graham, how long is left? They haven't imposed. There's no time limit actually imposed upon this.
Yes, there is.
There is.
2.5 hours.
Oh, so the manager did impose a time. Okay, I wasn't here for that.
Yeah.
I missed that. So,
that's maybe explains my comment about time and everything about.
Sorry, I missed that part. Keith Ayton asks, who is the youngest world champion in AC? That would have to be Robert Fletcher, wouldn't it?
Robert Fletcher.
20 when he won it?
So Robert Fulford won it in 90 when he was 21, I believe.
Man, I got a late start at this game.
I'm trying to. So 1990, he would probably be 20 in a lot of months. But Robert Fletcher was, younger, I believe. I said the other day, when he won, and remember he won without dropping a single game, lots of us anticipated a dominance of the sport for decades, and he hasn't won another singles title at either code since. And it just shows the depth and how difficult it is to win one of these tournaments. You're playing multiple matches against world-class opponents. You need to play at your best, and you need to get a little bit of luck.
Yeah, I remember being at the GC Worlds, and Reg was playing Felix Webby, which it looked for a little while like Reg was winning that match until Felix just turned on the afterburners. And I think Reg said something later to some of us where he was like, it's just getting harder to keep up sometimes. And it's like Reg is obviously still a world-class player, but he's like, the depth of the field now and all these young heavy hitters is just, it's different than it used to be.
It is.
Which is a great thing for the sport.
Very much so.
But, it does make life difficult. I think about that sometimes where it's just like, man, Pickens is slim out here to even get to a final.
Yeah.
Which is another one of the reasons I think that Matthews' recent run has been so impressive. I know he's come up short in the last 2 AC Worlds, but like to make it to 2 consecutive finals.
Sure.
And against 2 of the best players of all time, and then in between those to win a GC World Championship.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's a really, really good player. Yeah. Just an update on the adjacent lawn. Logan, I believe, is about to rush to the peg to win the first game.
All right. So Andrew here. Oh, he's underhit that badly. So he's now got himself a much longer Croquet than he wanted.
I need to correct myself, Tom. He's run Penult off the south boundary, hit a 12-yard return Croquet, and he's now rushing the ball he made Penult off to Rover. So
it's not over yet.
It's far from over yet. And he's rushed it 2 yards south of the peg. And now he's going to be not pegging out, but rolling up to Rover to try and get his final hoop. So this is a big shot from Andy.
Yeah.
Lots of pressure on this.
Very much. Even when you're a really smooth shooter, all of a sudden it's like you forget how to swing the mallet. But he didn't forget that time.
Quarter ball, good enough. So 5-yard roll up to Rover from Logan.
Bamford has won game 1, 26 TP9 against Stephen Forster.
Okay.
So,
and remember, Reg missed his lift shot, and Stephen had a standard triple peel ahead of him.
Right. So meaning he didn't make a hoop.
Didn't make hoop. No.
You can see them over there in the background.
Yeah, Logan's approached Rover really well, but he's sent the his peg ball really deep. So he needs to get a little bit of luck here to get a rush back to the peg.
Yeah.
You could easily flick a wire and go into blue. That looks good.
Yeah, sailed right past it. I don't know what kind of angled rush he'll have.
It'll be out good enough, I think.
Yeah.
And has he got a rush to 4?
Nope.
Again.
And he has... You could see his head stayed down a little longer. He was greatly dissatisfied with how that turned out.
It's just a really unusual place to send the green ball
to
as well.
It's not quite to 1 back, and it's well past 6. So I don't know what the rationale is. Maybe that was the part he was more dissatisfied with. Maybe he didn't mean for it to go that far.
Possibly. Logan now has a 4-foot peg out, 4-yard peg out. Looks like a good approach from Andy.
Yeah, giving himself about a 1.5 footer, but he's got Brown about halfway to the boundary, so he can run this with whatever pace he feels comfortable. Good 5 Pioneer, and whatever the green is doing.
I liked having the odd hoop that I could run to the boundary, because it just takes a little bit of tension out your shoulders, doesn't it?
It does. To be able to just sort of open up the pipes and just let it swing.
Yeah.
And then still be presented with a 4-yard Croquet.
Yeah.
We can see Logan in the background preparing his peg out. 4 yards looks a lot longer when you're not standing over it. And unfortunately for him, yellow is quite close. So if he misses this peg out trying to hit it softly or something like that. So brown has gotten up in great position near 6 with the little tidying up. So had green been near 6,
Yeah.
do you think that there he would have been trying to basically do the peel after 5 on brown? He would have put brown over by 5 if green were a good pioneer?
I think he's just going to go to 4 back.
Chris Martin says, rewinding, Mark almost mistakenly took a lift when Andrew broke down approaching 1 back with pink. What would have happened had he not realized his mistake in time? I think it's the same general situation. It's just incorrect position.
Yeah, so most limit of claims the first stroke of the opponent's turn. I'd again have to just double check that with my laws book, but I think Tom's right.
Tony Elliott says C Law 28.8.
Yeah, Tony's an excellent referee, been doing lots of work for us at Hurlingham at various worlds. It's one of the rules that was changed. So when I first started playing the game, if the opponent lifted their ball and walked, imagine you've got your balls on the east boundary and walked up to your balls, put his ball down next to your ball and hit a 1-footer, then the limit of claims was just 1 shot. So they could do that. Obviously, it's cheating.
Right.
But it's one of the things that got changed in the 80s, just to make sure that wasn't possible anymore. Meanwhile, we've got the double bankers warming up.
Yes, so Robert Fletcher and James Deeth, which that's going to be an exciting match to watch.
It should be fantastic. I'm hoping for lots of hit lift shots.
Right, because I don't foresee too much interactivity other than that happening. So both of these players have been on really good form. Robert the other day against his brother Greg was almost flawless. Greg kept himself in the fight with hitting a few lifts. And
I remember Greg failed hoop 3, third turn, and Robbie just missed a 6-yarder.
Early on.
So,
I said almost flawless.
Almost, yes, almost. And I think one thing we can say about Robbie is he's been pretty good at triple peels.
Yes. He's been very consistent with those peel turns.
Yeah.
I watched him do some, up here from the commentary booth, I watched him do some amazing play against David Fuller in his first round match when David Fuller pegged him out. He made 4 back by rolling up to it from hoop 2.
Yep. And hit both his shots. He hit a 17-yard lift shot, and then when he failed to finish, he hit another 30-yarder. So important to get those long shots hit at key moments. So yeah, no attempt to peel the brown. This is going to be a basic ball to 4 back, and he's going to have what we call death clips, Tom. I don't know if you've ever heard that term.
I have not.
But when 1 back and 4 back, we call them death clips, and nothing to do with James Deeth. It's a nightmare for you because as soon as you make a hoop, you've given the lift away.
Right. So if you haven't built your break effectively. So
Mark's not going to feel threatened that Andy's 1 turn away from finishing. Very difficult to finish from 1 back and 4 back. Mark, on the other hand, will feel that if he can hit in with his green ball, he might be able to do that single peel on the brown and win in 1 turn. Meanwhile, the manager's going, oh dear, I thought this was going to finish 15 minutes ago.
yeah, now it seems like a considerable amount of play is still left before us. So if Mark can't get in, this is not a 1-turn finish probably. If Mark does get in, it is, but He'd still have to build it out. It's potentially a one-turn finish for Mark, 4-back and rover.
Yep.
He'd have to get things together pretty quickly.
And just a my reminder, this is Tom Balding from America.
And this is Chris Clark.
From whichever country you decide you want to put me with.
That's what I was
But
saying.
I'm English.
There's some debate about that.
I'm born in England, and I'm English. Had the pleasure and privilege of representing New Zealand during my playing career, and very much enjoyed playing with the guys and girls out there. Played some Trans-Tasman, as well as the Matt Robertson and Openshaw Shield. And really enjoyed playing for those New Zealand teams.
And this would probably be a good moment while they're warming up and Andy sort of tidies up the rest of this break to remember the people who've given us support for this live stream and this event here. So major support provided by the W.P. Carey Foundation, who are also going to be providing a custom-made mallet to the winner of the event.
Yeah.
With the engraving of this event's logo. And
nice memento.
And then also the Palm Beach Sports Commission for all their support to the sport of croquet here in West Palm Beach and the NCC. And then the sponsorship for this event by Oakley Woods Croquet, White Tie Croquet, PFC Hoopmaker Mallets, and Invictus Croquet. Oakley Woods is probably one of the most common sponsors we have here in the United States, sponsors most of our events, and Don Oakley is here this week with his wares, and probably the most common mallet you find in the United States.
Right.
By a large margin. White Tie Croquet by Vicki Johnston, high-end white apparel. She's also here this week near the Don Oakley booth. So if anyone in the local area is watching and they're interested in a new mallet or some new apparel, come on down and see them. And then PFC Hoopmaker Mallets. Peter Coles could not be here, but Vicki Johnston is his representative. And those she also has the PFC mallets here with her as well.
Very popular with club players.
Very high quality mallets. And then finally, Invictus Croquet. Mr. Fletcher, Robert Fletcher himself, is the creator of Invictus Croquet. We are using Invictus balls for this event, which have so far, as we mentioned earlier in this live stream, been absolutely wonderful and challenging.
Yeah, good test for the players.
And people who watch the live stream will also see the Robert using his own Invictus mallet, along with his brother Greg, who is also here.
Yep.
And for the YouTube channel in particular, the support has been given by Chris and Gail Barley. Chris is a member of mine at my club and has been a competitor here and is in the plate right now. So this is his first AC World Championship. So big congrats to Chris and thank you for that support. And then Oakley Woods Croquet, once again, like I said, not just a supporter of this event, but a regular supporter of U.S. Croquet, including the YouTube channel. And finally, Chris and Karen Weiss, who are members of Sarasota County Croquet Club and who have been dutifully watching on the live stream for most of the days here. So we thank you guys all for all that support you've given. And last but not least, to I Do Live Streams, who are responsible for this wonderful setup we have here and bringing all this great entertainment to you guys. So we thank them very much for their professional work they've been doing and allowing us to come to you. So we hope to have very many more high-quality live streams like this in the future.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I miss. I would love to go back to '89 and watch that final between Joe Hogan and Mark Avery and all the other world finals. And now we can, obviously, but we can't quite go back in time and see all of those great players of the past. Andy's made his 9 hoops now. He's going to make a reverse diagonal spread by the look of it. And why would you make a reverse diagonal spread?
Well, his clip is for 1-back, and Mark's clips are both on this side of the lawn, so he can't make the peg ball unrushable to 4-back, though. That's the only problem. So green, technically on any lift that it gets, can hit in, rush brown to 4-back, and then set it up to rover. So
I'm not playing green. I'm playing brown. And when I miss with brown, he's got a really difficult turn ahead of him.
Yeah. He has left green very deep. So very defensively, that's going to be very difficult for him to get back across the lawn on. If you're for 3-back or something, then maybe that could be a little more effective.
Yeah, I think he's made a really hard work for himself next turn, providing Mark lifts his rover ball, the brown, and takes a defensive long shot. I think it's really difficult.
Keith Ayton asks, where's my club? My club is in the mountains of North Carolina. It's called Grandfather Golf and Country Club. For those of you who know David Malouf, I took over from him there as the club pro just after COVID. So beautiful spot.
Beautiful part of the world, isn't it? I had the pleasure of going up there after the Golf Croquet Worlds. Jenny and myself took a road trip into North Carolina.
Oh, really?
Beautiful part of the world.
Where did you go?
Now there you go. You're asking me
Too much
to remember names, and
it's a beautiful state from stem to stern.
Chattooga.
Okay.
And I always wanted to go there because Robert Fulford used to be the pro there many years ago.
Hey, he's left green and brown on the same side of the peg.
This is a weird and wacky leave. Has he just had a complete brain fail?
There have been a few of those this match. So
Green can just shoot at Brown. And equally, as I've mentioned before, Brown can take a varied range of defensive long lifts and make it really difficult for Pink and White. I don't even know which ball he's going to leave his rush for.
This has been something else. This is in stark contrast to me and Matthew's match that was done before lunch.
Yeah. Well, you're both very nice players to watch, lovely pace of play.
Well, he was nice to watch that match. He didn't really watch me.
We had a few instances where I think Matthew finished and we had a commercial break and you'd already taken your lift shot by the time the commercial stopped.
Yeah. I only hit one of them. Wasn't my day yesterday.
He's laying up for the one-back ball, the pink.
This is so... I've never seen this.
We can update the white. The white's on hoop 10, so 4 back. I'm still thinking about lifting Brown and taking a defensive lift. It's just so difficult. But equally, Green has got a completely open shot at Brown. That peg is pretty irrelevant. And if he hits that, he might finish the match.
Am I doing? I'm crazy. It is 9. Okay. So my club is about 3 hours north of Chattooga. In those areas. So that Chattooga is closer to sort of what we call the plateau or the Highlands area.
Okay.
Where there's a large cluster of clubs, about a dozen or more, that all have croquet within about a 15, 20-mile radius of each other. My club is, there's 3 or 4 clubs up where I'm at that are in a little outpost right near the Tennessee border. But so if anyone's ever in the western North Carolina area during the summer months, hit me up.
Great.
I'll get you on the lawn. But, all right. So.
He's looking at this vast variety of potential lift shots being offered. So Pink's got a rush to its hoop, 1 back.
I still don't understand the green and brown thing, but.
So he's taking one of the shots I was considering, which is the defensive one from corner 1 through Pink into corner 2. Nothing wrong with that. He's in 2 minds still. I think this is fine.
Yeah, it's very long, but it gives up really nothing.
Now he's back to B-bulk. He's taking something shorter. Perhaps he might take the long one at partner or the short one at white. My view is if you're going to take the short one at white, why not just play green at brown to start with?
Right. Give yourself a potentially winning turn.
Excuse me.
So,
what he'll be hoping for is if he misses white, the brown goes off the lawn and comes on in contact with pink. And he's hit it. Now,
it was an awfully short shot left for him.
The beauty of playing brown is that he can now make 1 point, the rover hoop, and lay up without conceding a lift. So next time Andy comes back on the lawn, he's going to have a 30-yarder to win or, well, certainly to lose the match.
Here's a replay of this beautiful shot. You can see how nice and smooth Mark's hoop stroke is. It's not too hard. with that Irish grip, some of the power generated by sort of accelerating
Yeah,
through the ball there. He
Quite a
doesn't have
lot
huge
of wrist
backswing.
action.
Yeah, doesn't have a huge backswing. My wrists would shatter into a million pieces if I tried to swing them out like that repeatedly.
As would mine.
So, and it's amazing that Mark, I mean, obviously he's been doing it his whole life, so his wrists are quite used to it, but like you said, 60 plus.
Yeah.
And still able to hit with power and hit very smoothly with that wrist position.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
So,
So this is interesting.
needs to rush to Rover here.
Yeah. He's almost put white in the way.
Looks okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a touch short, but well within range. Again, he can send this deep, sort of like we saw Logan do
Yeah.
in the previous.
Yeah.
And just
And I would do that
take
as well.
whatever 3 or 4 yarder he gives himself back after he makes the hoop. So, and then he's got to figure out what sort of leave he'll be doing. He's already
Yeah.
got green over on the other boundary, nice and tidy. So, what would you be thinking, Chris?
I'd want to occupy corner 3 myself. I probably want a ball near corner 4. And potentially leaving the other one more or less where it is. Ideally wired from my balls at 4 back. That's a nice approach.
It is.
A nice deep pink, so he won't have that longer return shot after running the hoop to the boundary.
Yeah, the only thing you won't love here is, yeah, that's beautiful. The only thing you wouldn't have loved if that came through at a weird angle and hit pink, but the odds of that are always very slim.
Yeah.
Especially at the angle he was on at the hoop, it was more likely to deflect that way. But so now he can actually rush this pink over towards corner 4 or green, whichever one he prefers.
Yeah, ideally green and croquet at south, and then rush green north.
Yeah.
And you've got lots of distance involved then.
Since the peels are over, I'm just going to switch 9 plus 2 to 12.
Great. Yeah, I think it's useful as well, isn't it? Because it says he's not on a peeling turn, and so that's in no man's land to me. I'm still going to croquet that 4 yards south and then hit green. I don't want that pink anywhere within the rectangle. I want it as far away from where green and brown are going to be as I can possibly get.
Yeah. I almost wonder if he shouldn't sort of push it to the yard line, just leave it there, and then
It's too far north. If he's laying up in corner 3, pink is going to get too short a shot. That is 9 yards shorter than it should be.
yeah, there's no real prospect of wiring behind hoop 3.
No,
So
pink's just bad. Way too close to brown and green. You'd never see Fulford make a leave like that.
yeah, that's kind of why I was wondering if it wouldn't be better, given the angle of his rush, just to rush it towards the corner area where it's like, so
Sure.
you don't end up in no man's land. Just do your takeoff down the line.
Yeah.
Get green up. Get green north. Okay. Keith Ayton asking how much I charge for lessons, and then Wixie Wix saying, "Are you interested, Keith?" I wonder if Tom changes people's techniques. So generally, no. If there's solid fundamentals, but if I see something egregiously bad, we might talk about it. So, and then we have a shot there of Jose Riva on the back lawn and all the beautiful flags we have here, and you can see that there's been some gusts of wind. You can see it on the players' shirts a little bit from time to time, and you can see the flags there getting a little more active than they've been, or at least half of them are. The other half are blocked. But, yeah, I noticed some gusts the other day that were strong enough that my mallet, when I was casting, was actually sort of going back and forth on me a little bit. So one of the banes of my existence as a player.
There you go. You want to talk to Jose Riva with his special mallet that's meant to be good in the wind. Or Reg, who's creating a £5,000
Yes.
mallet that's tested in Formula One wind tunnels. A bit out of my price range. I still have my lump of wood.
Even the Don Oakley has made a mallet called the Arrow, AERO.
And that's popular as well, isn't it?
It is. It's quite popular now here in the States, and it has the sort of PFC style holes in the sides, but it's
Yep.
still would. And Kyle Maloof uses one. It greatly reduces the wind resistance on the side of the mallet, so it swings a lot truer in the wind.
So, unsurprisingly, Andy is eyeing up pink at green.
Yeah.
And it, as already said, it's far shorter than it should be. Can he punish Mark for leaving him this short a shot? If he misses, it's a standard finish for Mark, and he should be in the quarterfinals. So, can Andy hit? Restalks it.
Yeah. And again, we can see that wind is up there in the back with the flags a little bit. So it's actually blowing quite strong now. It's off.
It's missed.
Missed by about a foot on the left.
Yeah, you can see that right wrist came through the shot.
Yeah.
So he won't be able to get pink all the way to Penult, but he'll get it far enough out that he should still finish. Has Robbie Fletcher gone into corner 2? Can you see that, Tom?
I don't see a ball yet unless it's gone out of bounds. So Red's a duffer.
It's a long duffer, isn't it?
Yeah. And then James misses well on the inside.
Yeah.
Of that. I've noticed on this line particularly, I think it curls in a bit there. I think there's
agree.
a ridge line because almost everybody has missed on the right-hand side of that line.
I agree that, yeah.
So, and you don't normally see that if the lawn is true. Most people normally even angle it a little bit extra into the corner. So
need a good stop shot now. And he's got it level with 2 and 3.
yeah, that'll work. Robert here, just to the side, preparing to take on his about 10-yard duffer. Mark is just going to give him a little bit of time and space to do so. And
He's
Robert
missed another
misses.
That's what I've found this tournament. He's not shooting as well as I anticipate him to shoot. Now, to be fair, I have a very high bar for him.
Yes.
I saw him win the British Open Golf Croquet, beating Reg 7-0. And Reg didn't have a chance. It was absolute demolition job.
So now Black taking on this, James taking on this shot from the side boundary. Mark just running 4 back, getting a reverse rush on Brown. Still not an easy shot for James. There is some roll off on that south boundary. And he's going to be looking to take it just over towards hoop 1 and make it straight away, I think.
I'm a bit surprised. I thought you would play black at blue.
Yeah.
It's a nice angle to take it.
Missed it.
And he's missed that.
And that actually, as you can see, he didn't miss the yellow by much. It actually hit the corner peg on the south boundary.
Right.
So you can see that there's some curl there.
Thanks to Richard. That's very kind of you.
Good morning from Chicago, Richard. So good to have you with us. So
again, that's finished a bit near the peg.
Yeah, the peg might be in. I mean, he'll be able to get all sorts of angles where he can rush that, but just it creates some awkwardness. Richards, there's still a functioning croquet club in Chicago. I heard about one several years back, but I haven't made it out there recently. So I think a friend of mine from college played there for a little bit. But I never got confirmation. And Mark here, just straightforward approach. Not going to probably get a rush out of this. Very likely to maybe touch pink as he comes through. Yep, touched it ever so softly.
Oh, now he's got to not just make the last hoop, but he's making it off partner. So he needs to get a rush back to the peg as well.
Yeah. He has room to send pink down.
That helps.
To some angle. It's not going to be super close to the hoop because of his backswing.
Looks good.
Green is just green's pretty nice.
Yeah,
it's
that's
a touch
a good
far,
shot.
but like. So pink is a decent reception ball. He should be able to just leave brown to the side and hit pink first.
Well, undercut it.
But it's nice and up tight to the hoop.
It's okay. So, looks like Mark's going to make it into the quarters.
By the skin of his teeth.
pretty long match. Oh, yeah, that's okay. And I'm going to take a break, Tom. I'll try and find you a colleague.
All right. I may be called away to do some shield play at some point because I think my opponent would be Mr. Johnston. If
Probably
Mark
wants a
finishes this
little
game
break,
out.
won't he?
He probably does, and I probably need a little practice.
But, yeah.
Richard Hayes says Chicago Croquet Club, Glencoe Croquet Club, and Prairie Lights Croquet Club are 3 options in the Chicago area. All right. Well, I haven't made it out to the metropolis of Chicago. Ooh, and another miss from Robert, narrowly.
Yeah.
Giving James now another chance at this. He may also have a double with blue now because
double
red
with
did
blue.
not miss.
Yeah, double with blue.
Unless hoop 4 is in the way.
No, I don't think it is.
And Mark here with a lovely rush up to the peg within a yard. And this should be all she wrote.
There we go.
All right. And Mark Avery has triumphed over Andrew Johnston to proceed on to face Matthew Essick in the quarterfinals.
Looking forward to
of
it.
the AC Worlds. The same quarterfinal match. So Matthew's pathway is shaping up to be very similar to his 2023 pathway. He played Mark Avery in the quarters.
Yeah.
And should Robert win this semi,
Yeah.
he would face, if Matthew wins his quarter, they would face each other in the semis again as they faced each other in the semis last year. But James Deeth may have something to say about that.
Yeah. James should hit this. This is a perfect double target.
Yeah.
We'll just watch this and then we'll try and find you a different couple of voices.
Can we change the camera to see James Deeth's hit in? It should be right down the barrel of the south boundary camera.
Okay, we've got an overview.
Yeah. Can we turn the south boundary camera real quick to see it? His camera that he's turn it to watch James Deeth hitting in.
He's just got a few people standing behind them.
Yeah.
They're just wandering away.
Yeah, he doesn't. Okay, he's asked the cameraman actually to move, so it's not distracting him. So we're not going to get that view, but that's all right. It is the player. It is the player's right. So we want to make sure that the players have a clear line of view for their shot. James shooting, and he hits it. Oh, and he gets a lucky kick. So he has hit red, cannoned red into yellow, and pushed yellow 6 yards directly south of hoop 1.
That's handy. That's handy.
So he can now actually do a split shot on red to get it up to 2 going to black if he wants to, and then focus on just trying to get a good rush.
Yeah, it should
Get
be a
up behind
really
yellow.
good chance. Okay, I'm going to take a break. We'll be back shortly.
All
New
right.
commentators.
Thank you, Chris. So, all right, everybody. Until summoned otherwise, I will be staying with you for a little while longer. So, James Deeth now and Robert Fletcher. I'm going to start changing over the. And it just so happens that James Deeth is also from England, so I don't have to change that flag, and he is the blue and black, which I'll change the colors. So the scoreboard will be updated momentarily while I tippy type a bunch of different things in. So, also, earlier, if I forgot to mention, I have a long list of people who deserve thanks. And down at the bottom, we would like again to thank the CFA for donating the lawns here that we're using. So the NCC, the National Croquet Center, where this is taking place in West Palm Beach, is owned by the Croquet Foundation of America and is also the home base of operations for the United States Croquet Association. So thank you so much to the CFA for generously giving up all of their courts and the members here for about 9 or 10 days in order to allow us to have these world championships. It's a lot to ask. This is a club with hundreds of members present who play quite regularly, but they have been very generous with their time of their facility. And then I would also like to thank Sandy James Fine Food and Events, who are the in-house caterers here at the NCC, and they have been keeping us well-fed and well-stocked with any drink of our choosing here at this event, and they cater all of the events here at the NCC. So big thanks to them for keeping us going. It's an army of people here, and as Napoleon once said, an army marches on its stomach. So big thank you to them. Can't ever forget that. So James here has played this opening beautifully. Great shot to get directly behind yellow and get it up to hoop one. So after a series of misses by both Robert and James, James missing B-balk, James missing down the east boundary from B-balk, Robert missing the duffer, James missing across, Robert then missing the long shot with his duffer, and finally James hitting the double. James is now off to the races. So some interesting, these are two players that when you think of missing hit-ins, you don't think of them very often. But in a tense match or just when you first come out in the morning, it can be hard to sort of immediately groove in, and these shots are long enough that they're lower percentage. So I was living proof yesterday that you don't always hit things you expect to hit, unfortunately. So, but such is the way of things sometimes. All right, let's find the Australian flag for Robert here. There we go. James Deeth is in play. I'm going to change the colors of the balls, and we should have this back up to you momentarily. So whoever made me the technical wizard was putting a lot of faith and not a lot of ability. But we're figuring it out. So I keep trying to make the blues partner the red. I keep going in color order. That's no good. And yellow. So, and we'll reset the hoops. Blue has ran 1, black has ran 0, red has ran 0, yellow has ran 0. I'm also going to reset the game scores here. All right, and we should be ready to put the scoreboard back online. So I'm joined here once again by Mr. Andrew Gregory.
Good morning, all.
So,
I thought I was going to have a day off after my birthday, but no rest for the wicked.
was yesterday your birthday?
Somebody said that. Yeah.
Okay, happy birthday to whoever said that.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay. So, guys, I've just been handed some instructions. So we are going to cut the feed on the morning session here really quickly, and we're going to transition over to the new afternoon session in about 15 to 20 minutes, and we're going to come right back into the action and follow this match. So just a quick 20-minute break. Grab an early lunch, go to the bathroom, do whatever, but be back here in 20 minutes' time, and we will rejoin you. Hopefully I will rejoin you, but somebody will be here to guide you through the waters of this match. All right. So thank you, everybody. Signing out.
Cheers for now.